collection of letters that Epstein had received for his 50th birthday in the early 2000s. In order for that letter to be fake, this would mean that that whole collection of letters compiled by his estate 20 years ago was fake. But the thing is we know that it's not. That there's been other things in that same book of contents of letters he received for his 50th birthday that have been verified by the senders of the letters, including Ghislaine Maxwell. Right? And if you now want to argue, well, just this letter was fake. So you're telling me that Epstein compiled a book of letters he received for his birthday 20 years ago and included a fake letter from Donald Trump, knowing that at some point in the future he'd run for president and he just wanted to fuck him over. Right? Do you see how insane that is?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, maybe the letter's real, but like, I mean, I wasn't really aware of that. If I was, probably maybe. I'm still not voting for Harris or Biden, but I probably would have voted at that point.
Okay, so you actually don't support Trump as president? Wow, you're no longer MAGA?
I can't. I mean, after hearing that, if that is the truth, I mean, I can't support. I can't stay with that.
Perfect. So you're no longer a part of that 37%?
But don't think I'm going to be a Democrat, though, just because, I mean, I was never a Republican. I just liked Trump at that time because I would watch some of his clips. But if that is true.
Well, let me ask you a question. I just want to thank three people real quick. Kat, thank you so much for the $3 on PayPal. And Valerie, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal as well. Show some love to Kat and Valerie. And then Jonathan, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Saying I needed to show my support for you. W Dims for yesterday. Fuck yeah, W Dims for yesterday. God, last night was a night of celebration. Thank you for the $20, Jonathan. Let's get 200 Jonathan W's and 500 Jason W's. Holy shit. Thank you so much for the $51 on Venmo, Jason. Jason with the 51 bucks says not only did the OC flip in California last night, but so did San Bernardino County, which is literally always red. Tides are shifting. Yes, Jason, tides are shifting. America is done with this tyrant's bullshit. All right. And for all these Republicans that are putting the rubber stamp on what he's doing and endorsing and supporting it baselessly, they're getting thrown the hell out too. So Jason, thank you so much for the $51, my friend. That is so unbelievably kind of you. I want to see some massive love for Justin down below. And if you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in the pinned message on that YouTube stream. Now, Sean, I appreciate you for coming up. It's really good to hear that you no longer support Trump as president. And I think that maybe I'll be able to change your mind by just, having you watch the stream insofar as your thoughts on the Dims. But I'd say that my goal for this live is over right now. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you,
everybody, for supporting Dean. I appreciate it.
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 19. I've been up here before, buddy. You just kicked me last time. I was talking too fast for you.
Oh, 1 second.
Dean Withers is furious this got leaked. For the people who don't know, Dean Withers voted for Trump
shout out!
in 2020. If you weren't following Dean back then, he was posting crazy Trump content. But this didn't get Dean very many views. It actually got him a lot more hate.
Buddy.
There's no free shout out.
So first and foremost,
oh my God.
You said in this video that I voted for Trump in 2020, right?
I know what you're about to say. I wasn't 18 in 2020. I was just come on, I was just trying to get people to rage.
And then second of all, you said that this photo of me got leaked.
Come on, we know it's been going around.
This is a photo that I posted on the internet myself. Not even when I was a Trump supporter, but when I was running a fake pro-Trump live 3 years ago on April Fool's Day, saying that he was the second coming of Jesus. I posted that photo and I said, Trump is the second coming of Jesus. He is. We're going to have a third New Testament in the Bible because Trump is the second coming of Jesus. And I dressed up. I put that Trump hat on and I threw a Trump flag over my shoulders and I went on live and that's what I said. I said, okay, right. Well, when Jesus came the first time, he added a New Testament to the Bible. All right, the New Testament. And now Trump, he re-released a third version of the Bible and then sold it for $51 with the third testament. It was a troll.
Yes, just like I was doing. I was doing a troll. So what's your point here, boy?
Okay, so
I love it that you're watching my account. I love it. You gave me the shout out. You watch my account. Chat. This is just amazing. This guy is an A1 supporter. I love it.
Okay, so if me watching your videos makes me an A1 supporter of you, then you
Don't
watching and
even
being up on my live makes you an A1 supporter of me.
Damn right. Hey, can we get a W? Can we get
Okay,
a
so,
W?
so are you actually a
Yeah.
Trump supporter or are you just a troll?
Yes, hell yeah.
Okay. Why?
Wait, I got a question.
I want to make sure that this guy's an actual
What
Trump
are your
supporter.
thoughts on the majority of Trump supporters? What do you think about them?
A majority? Ignorant. If I had to sum it up into one
Ignorant.
word,
Or what else?
well, if I had to sum it up into one word, that one word would definitely be
No,
ignorant.
let's give it 3 words. Sum it up into 3 words.
Okay, I'll give you 2 more words if you give me an argument why you support him. You got to dispute the first word first.
All right, I got a short-term memory loss. What you say, boy?
I said ignorant.
Oh, he's ignorant. All right.
I said majority of Trump
I know.
supporters. are
I
ignorant.
didn't mean Trump. My bad. I'm
Well,
stuttering
actually,
here.
all Trump supporters, technically. So
Oh,
go ahead and
okay,
dispute that by giving me an
your
informed
brother,
argument.
right? Your brother and your family are Trump supporters. Are they ignorant?
Yes.
Oh, so your family's ignorant, and they're part of a cult.
Well, I definitely say that the members of my family that support Trump are ignorant in the sense that they lack necessary information in order to yield true political conclusions. Would you like to dispute that you are too by giving me a well-versed and informed argument that Donald Trump is a good president?
You just try to turn on my mic.
Yeah, I silenced you, buddy. Taking your free
I don't
speech
like
away.
being silenced, Dean. Let me tell you.
I'm taking your free
That's
speech
that's
away.
another reason why I voted for Trump. He was being silenced by the news.
I'm literally
I went to one
I'm
of his
literally
rallies.
quoting Trump right now. Quote unquote, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "I'm taking your free speech away," when he tried to illegally ban the burning of the American flag, which was ruled as SCOTUS, as symbolic speech that's protected by the First Amendment in 1989 under Texas v. Johnson. So you're telling us here that you voted for Trump, right, because you didn't like people being silenced, having their free speech away, even though that is exactly what he's doing.
Well,
today.
what you
Thank
said
you
just
for
ain't true.
demonstrating your ignorance.
You're just spreading misinformation.
Yeah, what did I say? That's false.
That he's trying to take our freedom of speech. He did not say that. Uh-oh. Here we go. Chat, is he going to prove me wrong, chat? Can we get a prove wrong in chat if he's right?
I think that this guy's rage baiting.
We've made it
Okay.
1-year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts.
There you go.
Well, let's listen to the full thing, Dana. Okay,
He
let's
just
not
goes-
play around.
The courts
He just yaps about how he's burning
No,
the
let's
American
listen
flag.
to, because now I could take something out of context of what you said, Dina, and I can make it a whole nother thing. Let me tell you what.
Okay, I'll play the
But-
rest of that clip and I'll give you
Let's
the context.
play the full clip, Dina. Okay.
So
Thank
I'll
you.
play the rest of that clip if you could give me a reason why you support Trump as president. I'm just
I gave you a reason.
What was
I
it?
don't like being silenced, and neither did Trump.
okay. So you think
And I
that,
want these illegals out of here. That's another reason, but we'll
okay,
get
so you
into
support
that.
mass deportation? What is one positive?
Well, I said I don't like illegals here. Mass deportation is a whole nother thing. Let's not put words in each other's mouths.
What do you think mass
I ain't with
deportation
that
is?
stuff. Well, I mean, the way they're going about it, I have some problems with. Okay.
Okay,
I've
so
seen
then,
the
so then tell
videos.
me.
Everybody's
then
seen
tell
the
me
videos.
something Trump is doing that you don't have a problem with that makes.
Well,
you
he's
support him.
getting people who came here illegally out.
Okay, so you support his deportation.
Not mass deportation. Now, let's not put words in it. I support deportation, not a mass-wide deportation, eh?
Buddy, you literally just got my live restricted for misinformation. Oh my god. you just got the full live restriction for misinformation. Dear God, okay? Holy cow. Holy cow. That guy is insane. Joshua, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, "This is so cringy, Dean. I'm literally shivering from the level of cringe this kid is giving me. I don't understand why people want to be quote unquote famous by behaving this way. It is so peak brain rot." Yes, that last guess was totally peak brain rot. I couldn't agree more. 110%. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the live. I don't know if the restriction is withstanding. I'll be able to tell if our viewers start going down. But for right now, we're just going to go to get that next Trump supporter up here, guys. Go ahead and hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. We'll get you loaded up. And if our viewership just starts to drop drastically quick, and there it goes. All right, the restriction is hit. So for the 13,000 people watching the live right now, we are unfortunately going to have to go ahead and hit a quick restart just because of that flag. Unfortunately, I know this sucks, but we got to do it. Now, it's coming back from these restarts is actually really easy. Okay, they only take me 5 seconds. So I don't know why, but whenever we do these restarts, like 70% of people don't come back. All right, so don't be a part of that 70%. Come back. The restarts take 5 seconds. Okay, the first way to come back after the restarts to hit that follow button in the top left-hand corner. You'll find me on your following list. You'll see the live again, and we'll continue the debates for another 3.5 hours. The second way to come back after the restart is once the live ends, click on the profile picture in the middle of the phone screen that you'll see. You'll be directed to my account page. Count to 10, literally out loud. Scroll down on my videos. It'll refresh my account page. Then click back into the new live through that red glowing orb around the profile picture. It literally takes 5 seconds. I'll see you all in 5 seconds. So that's all it is. Please come back. See y'all soon.
You just said so much, okay? I have to gather my thoughts. But I will answer. I will answer. You're gonna get an answer. So the answer is yes, that's bad, but unless you own a beauty pageant, and then that's the only case.
Unless you own a beauty pageant. All right. I'm going to go to kick you, and we're going to go to move on to the next guest, guys. Go ahead and hop in to that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Dude, what is that? What is this guy doing back? What is this motherfucker doing back? Can you leave the live?
Listen, man.
Was that last guy your buddy?
Oh, yeah, I was watching. Listen, man. November 4th, I couldn't even sleep, bro.
Yeah, keep crying, buddy. Moving on to the next guest. Dude, moving on to the next guest, Daniel. Dude, come on. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Hello.
Hey, are you MAGA?
Yes. I was just saying hi. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too, Daniel. Do you support Trump?
I'm not really big on this kind of stuff. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay, well, you have a good rest of your day. We're only looking for people that do support Trump. Bro, Jesus Christ. What did the Daily Wire just invited me on? Interesting. What's going on, Millie? Do you support Trump? Nope, and they're gone. Moving on to our next guest, Whitney. We got Whitney loading up into the box. Hey, real quick, Kylie, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, who says, hey, Dean, would you ever consider doing a live for people that have MAGA family members and give them advice / talking points to help them break their family out of the cult? Yeah, absolutely. Also, I mean, you could even use this live to get that advice, right? Just by like trying to like employ, right, the same points that we discuss here on a day-by-day basis, right, when conversing like with your family. I'd also like to very quickly thank Ashley for the $10 over on Venmo, who says, next pro-life for you debate that says they're okay with abortion by grape, ask before or after a conversation, since it could take weeks or months to go to court. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I'll have to bring that up. Thank you, Ashley, for the $10. If you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio and in the pin message of the YouTube stream. What's going on, John? Do you support Trump?
I do, actually.
Oh, John, terrible. Before I pass you that mic, let me go ahead and thank one more person here. Caesar, thank you so much for the $20 on Super Chat, who says, America sent a message last night for all Republicans who stood in silence while Trump pushed his agenda. You are no longer qualified to represent the people, and your reelection should be in jeopardy. Love your work, Dean. Abso-fucking-lutely, that message was sent last night, Caesar. It is a blue wave, and this wave will only grow taller and taller, rolling into the midterms next year. Okay, the position of anybody who furthers or is complacent with Donald Trump's terrible agenda is going to lose their position as serving as one of our representatives. Now, John, why the hell do you support the tyrant? Why the hell do you support this grave threat to this country's democracy, and this country's constitution as president, Mr. Trump?
Well, he's not a tyrant. He's an incredible president. He's doing everything that he said he would do. And, the results speak for themselves.
What results? The 42 million starving Americans that don't have access to food stamps, the 10 million Americans that already have or will lose access to healthcare because of his big, beautiful bill, or the GDP growth being cut in half, investment in American business going down, inflation on the up, unemployment on the up, open jobs going down. What are we talking about here? What are the results?
Well, I think it's a good thing that, we're getting these, giving a wake-up call to these people on food stamps.
You think it's a good thing that we're taking their food stamps away?
Absolutely.
Why?
It's a wake-up call. They're going to learn that you cannot rely on the government, right? You can't rely on the government to feed you. That is crazy.
Okay, and why?
That's insane.
So why is the notion of the government helping people that don't have a lot of money eat insane?
Because they need to learn how to take care of themselves. That's why.
So they need to,
That's
so
why
you
it's
need to learn how to
insane.
take care of yourself. So, so
Absolutely.
if people on food stamps need to learn how to take care of themselves, and they need to learn that they can't really rely on the government for anything, right? Would you say that you should too? Do you
Yeah,
think that,
no, I don't-
would you
I
would you
don't rely on
lead-
the government.
Would you lead by example? Can you tell me? Can you say, Dean, in the same way I want 13 million American children to starve because I don't think that they should rely on the government? Can you say, Dean, I don't think I should rely on the government either?
I don't rely on the government. I
Okay.
literally don't.
Perfect.
Not to feed me.
So
Not to
next
feed me.
next time when you need to go somewhere, don't use a public roadway. That's relying on the government.
That's different.
Next
That
time,
is
no-
different. That is
Of
different.
course it's different
That
because it's
is
something that
different.
benefits you. Next time, right, you find yourself in a position where you're being harmed by a crime. Don't call the cops because they're funded by the taxpayer. That's a
That's a
reliance on the
different-
government.
that
Yeah,
is
of course,
different.
yes, it's
That
different.
is
Right,
different.
next time, right, there's a fire. Don't call the firefighters because that's a service provided by the government. You can't have that
Again,
reliance.
different.
That's different. Okay, how is it different, John?
Because that's a service that we all rely on. That's a universal service. Food stamps, EBT, that's a select service. You have to qualify for that. So not everybody gets that, right?
Oh, so you're saying that you'd actually be okay with food stamps if they're offered to everyone?
No.
Oh, but so then that's not the reason why you think it's okay for you to rely on public roadways, firefighters, or cops.
No, I
Oh,
said,
and by the way, public roadways
everyone gets that.
By the way, public roadways are not for everybody. Okay, in order to drive
Yes, it
on
is.
them,
Yes, it
no,
literally
no,
is.
in order
There's
to
nothing
drive on
preventing
them,
you from going
in
on-
order to drive on a public roadway in like a vehicle, you have to qualify for that by like having a driver's license.
You can have access to that road by being in a car with someone, by being on a bus.
Talking about driving
Look,
on there, though, John. Right, and then not to
But you
mention,
won't- but
right? We've
not
already
everyone gets
disputed.
access to
We've
food stamps.
we've already disputed this because what would be implied here, right, is that well, we can make food stamps like your support for public roadways by making everyone eligible. But to that you said no. Right, and also
And
the
anyway-
reason why not everybody is eligible for food stamps is because not everyone needs them.
And anyways, it's a very personal, it's a very intimate thing to say, hey, government, feed me.
Oh, so then why
That's
is it as
crazy.
like personal and intimate to say, hey, government, save me?
No, because that's a universal thing.
Okay, well, we've already went over this, John. Point number one, you said that you still wouldn't support food stamps even if they were universal. And point
I
number
wouldn't,
two, there's like good reason, right? Like why food stamps aren't universal, and it's because not everybody needs them. Meanwhile, like everybody needs like the police force.
No one should need them.
Okay, I agree.
No one
I
should-
agree.
no one should- no one should have access to
No
that.
one should need food stamps, right? Because no one should be struggling to gain access to food.
No,
okay?
you
But
should
a
be-
matter of a
you should
fact,
be taking
people
care of yourself.
are struggling to gain access to food, and that's when the government steps in and we provide them food stamps, right? Now, once again, I want you to go ahead and respond to the reasons that I gave you to dispute your view. You said the reason why it's okay for you to rely on the government to save you when you're presented with a crime, but it's not okay for hungry Americans to rely on the government to help save them when they need to eat is because the ability to call the police is universal. Everyone can access it. Meanwhile, food stamps aren't. So the first counter argument to your position, right, was when I asked you the question, well, this would imply that therefore you would support food stamps if they were universal, but you said even in that scenario, you wouldn't, thereby contradicting your own logic. Okay, and then the second counter argument to that position is, well, there is good reason why the police force is universal, and there's also good reason why food stamps are not universal. All right. So I would really appreciate it if you could respond to my two counter arguments here to debunk and refute your shitty view. Watch him pivot.
So first of all, my view isn't shitty. A lot of people share that opinion. Also, I would say that, when it comes to the government is notoriously unreliable and unstable. And as you can see right now, there's a lot of people that are going hungry because they're relying on the government to feed them. You shouldn't do that. You should take care of yourself. You should, have safeguards for yourself so you can fall back on something. But you shouldn't be relying on the government to feed you.
And then this is when I like reintroduce the argument. Well, if you don't think that individuals should be relying on the government, right, in the sense of having the government help feed them, then you shouldn't be relying on the government in the sense of having the government help like pay, right, for the roadways that you drive on, or pay for the police officers that you access when somebody's like committed a crime against you, or to access the firefighters if a fire were to start in your house, right? And then that's when you respond, well, the difference, Dean, is that those benefits are universal and food stamps aren't. And then that's when I respond, well, you already told us that you wouldn't support food stamps even if they were universal. Therefore, that argument's now like null and invalid. And there's good reason why the police force is universal, and there's good reason why food stamps aren't. So I've already addressed your argument, right? But you found yourself in a position where you're fucking stunlocked, John, because you've been like presented with common sense. All right, you can't move an inch in your argument any longer, and your only option here is to repeat yourself because you've been defeated, because your view is nonsensical.
It's not nonsensical.
So then
It makes a
respond
lot-
to my counter arguments.
I literally responded to your argument, and also you
What
keep
was your
harping
response?
on. You keep harping on.
What was your
police
response?
versus-
What was your
you keep
response to
harping
my
on-
two
Hold on,
counter
can I just
arguments?
finish this point, please?
Yeah, for sure. Just make
You
sure
keep
that at
harping
one point
on-
you get around to your responses to my two counter arguments.
You keep harping on police services and fire services. That's not a constant service I need, right? I don't need that every month, right? Where food stamp recipients, they need that every month because they can't take care of themselves because they're lazy. And a lot of them are stupid. But, that's besides the point.
Wait, so I want to clarify. You think that if you need food stamps, then you're lazy?
Yes.
Okay, so you think if you work a minimum wage job, then you're lazy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, see, this is a false assumption about capitalism, right? It's not true that under capitalism, the more money you make, necessarily the harder that you work. Like, for instance, some school teachers need food stamps, right? That's a fact. Do you think that school teachers work harder, right, or not as hard as somebody that is infinitely richer than them, like Barron Trump?
They're not managing the budget. They're not budgeting correctly. They're living with outside of their means.
You're not
Those
answering
are
my
the
question.
reasons why these people
You're not
need food
answering my question, John. Why aren't you answering
I just
anything that I
answered your
asked of you?
question.
No,
I
the
just
question
answered-
was, do you think that school teachers that make less money than Barron Trump, right, work harder than Barron Trump, or work not as hard as Barron Trump?
That's relative. I don't really know what Barron.
Yeah,
Trump
relative to your own position.
does. I don't know what Barron Trump does.
No, because he doesn't.
He's a
do
good
anything.
kid. He's a good
He
kid.
invests in crypto.
And he's going to school and he's getting his education.
So,
That's
so
a
do you
great-
think it's realistic, right, to assume that like a lot of school teachers work harder than Barron Trump?
I don't know that. I literally don't know.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't know.
All right, yeah,
But
you don't know anything, John. And then you also
I know a lot,
so a lot
actually.
of people on food stamps are disabled. So
You
a
don't
lot
have
of
to be-
a lot of disabled
Hey,
people.
Let me just say something. You don't have to be disrespectful.
Well, yeah, I'll stop disrespecting you as soon as you stop disrespecting 42 million Americans by basically assuming that they're lazy and stupid just because, right, they can't make ends meet all the time and are reliant on the government to help them buy food. Okay? Fair deal. Now, a lot of people on food stamps are disabled, meaning they can't work. A lot of people on food stamps are elderly, meaning they can't work. And a lot of people on food stamps do work because they're forced to by federal work requirements. So answer this question. Do you think the disabled people on food stamps, right, are lazy and stupid?
Well, some of them, but not all.
Oh, some of them. So you think like it's like there's a lot of scenarios, right, where somebody has a chronic disability that prevents them from being able to work, right, thereby making them reliant on food stamps in order to live, right? And the only reason why they're reliant on food stamps there is because they're lazy and stupid.
Some of them, yeah.
But they can't work. They're disabled.
Well, yeah, I'm saying some of them.
Oh my God.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Oh my God, they can't work, John. They literally
Yeah,
can't work.
yeah. Some of them are literally they don't like they're.
Oh my goodness, John. See, I bet you would rather your money going to Argentina, like the $40 billion that Trump sit down there. I bet you would rather your money going back into Donald Trump's own personal bank account, like the $230 million he is now demanding from the Department of Justice, right? Because of the emotional pain and distress that he felt during the last 4 years. I bet you would rather your money go back into the pockets of the most wealthy and richest Americans for no reason at all other than to help them buy a 15th yacht. John, what you suffer from, right, is stupidity. What you suffer from is ignorance. And what you suffer from is apathy, okay? Every single claim that you've made about low-income Americans that are relying on food stamps so far in this conversation has been false and a mere projection of yourself. Because matter of fact, right, if the only people that were on food stamps were just lazy and didn't want to work, right, well, then we wouldn't see that the average recipient of food stamps stays on them for less than 12 months. If they were lazy and stupid and didn't want to work, then we wouldn't see that food stamps for every dollar invested to them generates $1.80 of economic productivity by giving more economic mobility to low-income Americans, allowing them to dedicate more of their focus, right, to negotiating higher wages from a better employer or investing more of their time into getting an online degree or going to trade school. What we wouldn't see, right, is that food stamps not only help us keep people alive, help prevent children from starving, but also help us build a stronger, better tomorrow, economically speaking, by better enabling and emboldening our labor force to have more negotiating power to hold against their employer, right? Because now their bare means are met. All right. And it's funny because you're going to sit here and you're going to complain about the $36 per year that you spend in taxes on food stamps. But then you're not going to complain about the $700 per year that you spend in taxes for corporate subsidies that ultimately find their way back into the pockets of billionaires. You are significantly closer, right, to being homeless, right, than you are to being a billionaire. You are significantly closer to being on food stamps than likely you are to even being a millionaire. Okay, so stop punching down just because you're not currently experiencing economic instability. Okay, stop projecting your own stupidity and your own ignorance onto those around you, right? Just because they're effectively using the tax dollars that we pay, right, to make themselves better and to further their own life and career, therefore making America as a whole better off, right? And stop projecting this shit, right, just so you could attempt to justify your support for a goddamn criminal fascist that is now ignoring a court order to prevent 42 million Americans from starving. And honestly, right, I want to see you alone in a room with 1,000 people on food stamps. And I want those 1,000 people on food stamps to be equally distributed amongst the demographics that we see of children, of disabled Americans, of elderly Americans, of employed single mothers of fives, right, that are working for their state's minimum wage. And because the Republicans have been fighting against raising it for so long, that minimum wage can't simultaneously keep a roof over their head, clothes on their back, and food in the mouths and stomachs of all 5 of their children. Okay, and look at how they respond to that. Look at how they react to that. Okay, because I promise, okay, their reaction will not be lazy nor stupid.
So, can I ask you a question? And I don't want you to run away from it. I just want you to answer it plainly, okay?
It's funny. You're telling me that you don't want me to run away after you just ran away from everything that I've said so far in this conversation.
I did not.
Not only did you not respond to the first 2 counter arguments that I gave you against your position, you didn't respond to the 3rd counter argument I gave against your position, or the 4th, nor the 5th, 6th, or 7th that I just gave you in my last breath. So I'm so sorry, sir. You are not one to be talking about running away from an argument.
Can you answer my question then, since I'm the one that's running away? Can you answer my question? Can you?
I don't know. What is it?
So, do you have a degree?
No.
Okay, so you just called me stupid. You just called me uneducated. You just called me all these names. I have a degree from UC Berkeley, right? Right.
And you're getting mocked by a 21-year-old without one.
And so
I think you need a refund.
You don't have a degree, and so you're on here pretending like you're an expert on these things. You're not an expert. You're not educated. So you can't tell me anything.
Okay, John, let's go ahead and put that to the test.
You understand that? You can't tell me anything.
Let's go ahead and put that to the test. Let's see who's more educated, me or you. What we're going to do, since I liked Biden and you like Trump, we're going to go back and forth and name good policy that they pass and give her justification for it. And we're going to see who runs out of reasons, policies, and arguments first. All right? So I'll go ahead and start. One policy that Biden passed that I was a big fan of was the PACT Act that invested $800 million into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits and allowed over 1 million new veterans that were not covered previously by VA healthcare benefits to now have access to their resources. I'd say that was a pretty intelligent argument, well-founded with good reason. It's your turn. Go ahead and name a policy that Donald Trump has influenced to get passed through Congress that you're a big fan of, and why.
The 2017 tax cuts that freed up, cash for the big boys, so then they can go ahead and spend more money, create more jobs.
Oh yeah.
And
wait, John, do you think that bill created more jobs?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, but I thought that you said you're educated, because if you were educated, well, no, you're not on this bill, because if you were educated on this bill, then you would know, right, that the financial institution by the name of Brookings did a cohort analysis and study on the outcomes of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed by Trump in 2018 and determined that it led to no new macro level business reinvestment.
It did.
And because it didn't yield any new macro level business reinvestment, it could have possibly incentivized the creation of new jobs for the reason being, one moment, right, that there was no new macro level business reinvestment. And if you were educated, you'd also know, right, that two Harvard economists did once again another study on the outcome of the TCJA. You could find this by going on Google and typing in macro analysis of the 2017 tax reform bill, right? And they concluded, right, that it only led to 0.04% GDP growth per year, which was equivalent to around $30 billion or $300 billion over the lifespan of the bill, right? Which fails in comparison to the $1.9 trillion spent on it as projected by both the Congressional Budget Office and the CRBP. Right? Now, you said in the middle of my sentence there that I was wrong, right? When I argued that it didn't lead to any new macro level business reinvestment. So I gave you my source to demonstrate that I'm right, a study done by Brookings. If you'd like the name, let me know. Now I'd ask you, what is your source? What is your study that I'm wrong?
So I don't have one, right?
Well, I know. Well, I thought that you were educated. I thought that one moment.
I am.
Wait.
I know that
Don't educated, right? Berkeley grads like to justify what they believe in with evidence?
We do, actually.
All right. So where's your counter study?
Well,
right?
so
your
I don't have like a computer in front
that
of me.
It led to new macro level business reinvestment.
I'm not doing research, I don't have a computer in front of me.
Wait, you're not doing research? I thought that you were educated. Don't educated people do research?
Not during this debate is what
Wait, but obviously because you're more educated than me, you should have already done this research, because I've already done this research. I've already done this research, John.
Because you do this
so
every
how
day.
are you
This is
saying
your
that the
job.
person that hasn't done any research is more educated than the individual that has? Academics cite their sources, John. Listen,
you do this every
listen,
day.
John. Academics cite their sources. What is your source that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act led to new macro level business reinvestment?
Well, that's what it does by nature. So that's why I know you're lying, then you're not right.
Can you demonstrate that by nature tax cuts lead to new macro level business reinvestment?
Is going to free up more capital, and that capital is going to go towards jobs and investment.
What's your argument for that? What's your argument that's going to go towards jobs?
I'm just saying, by the very nature of a tax cut, that's what it does. That's why I know you're not right.
Well, so the first.
I don't have to have a study for that. I don't have to have.
So the first thing that you said there was right. By nature, tax cuts will free up more capital, but then you kind of jumped the gun and just argued because they free up more capital, therefore that capital will be used to reinvest back into hiring more employees. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, John.
It does.
John, that's actually not true. So the reason why we saw such low levels of unemployment in like the 70s and the 80s was because we actually had a high corporate tax rate, which incentivized companies to keep more of their capital inside of their business so they're not hit by said corporate tax rate, since it's being reinvested, therefore written off as an expense. When you actually reduce that corporate tax rate, it incentivizes the business owners to use more of that capital and put it into their personal bank account, as it is now being taxed at a lower rate, right? Demanding like a lower level of necessary write-offs. Right. And this is why Brookings tells us, right, that like it led to no new macro level business reinvestment. That's why we see that conclusion yielded. Once again, proved by a study. And it's funny, right, because the Berkeley grad, dude, get a fucking refund on whatever you majored in. Berkeley grad over here says that he's more educated, he's more intelligent than me. But then I come not just with the common sense, the facts, and the good arguments, but with the sources to prove that you're wrong. And then, when push comes to shove and the educated high IQ Berkeley grad is asked for his evidence, his research, his sources, he says, I don't have any. Go ahead, John.
Like I just said, you do this every day. You're up here panhandling, every single day. You're up here.
What do you mean by that?
Hold on, let me finish. You're up here with these fake resources, you're up here, saying like, oh, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Give me some money. That's what you do every day,
Oh,
And, you're just
wait. The
you're just
Berkeley grad
jiggling
is
the
mad about
balls,
my
dude.
income. The Berkeley grad is
What?
mad about the donations. Why?
No, I'm not mad. I mean, do what you got to do.
I think it's obvious that you're mad because instead of responding to the cogent argument that I just gave you
anybody
to
could get up here and do
review,
this,
right?
Anybody could do
You
this.
start like
I could do this.
you start freaking out, and you're like, money up here to Panhandle. So do you think?
Well, you're
that
trying to insult my intelligence. You're
well,
trying
do
to
you think
insult
that-
my intelligence
one second,
by saying
John.
that I don't have. I don't have the sort.
I didn't insult your intelligence. The
Yes, you
facts
literally called me
insulted your
stupid multiple
intelligence.
times. Yes, you did.
Listen, John. The facts insulted your intelligence. But now you said that I was panhandling. Why do you think I'm
What
panhandling?
facts? You do panhandle. That's what you do.
What does that mean?
Like you're up here begging for gifts. That's what
Wait,
you do.
I'm begging
There's
for
nothing
gifts.
wrong with- There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with it. That's
How
what you
am I
do, okay?
begging for gifts?
Like, oh, if you can just give me a donation.
Oh, you mean through the donations? All right, I don't beg individuals for donations.
I mean, there's nothing
I just
wrong
let them
with
know
that.
if
There's
they,
nothing wrong with
if
that.
they do want to donate to me, they could find my
I'm just
Venmo, my
saying.
PayPal, and the link tree in my bio
I'm
on
just saying
TikTok, and they could find it in the pinned message on my YouTube stream. Actually, speaking of, Sarah, thank you so much for the $5 and excited for the blue wave change. Thank you so much for the love, Sarah. Ashley, money. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Ashley. And Kylie, thank you for the $10 as well. Phyllis, thank you for the $10. Saying, Dean, good to see you, Phyllis. Thank you for the $10.
It
And
is.
Nate, thank you so much for the $75 donation over on Venmo. Holy crap, Nate. Nate with his $75 as in honor of my grandfather who died 5 years ago today. At that time, it seemed like things were getting better, only for us to regress 4 years later. Hopefully, yesterday was a sign of things to come. Absolutely, Nate. Let's get 750 big Nate W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much. And then Hope, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo for the panhandling. Thank you so much, Hope. Let's get 300 Hope W's. Let's also get 100 Megan W's for the $10 and 300 Christina W's for the $25. And they're a huge fan. Thank you so much, Christina. Show some love to Christina down in that chat. As well as Athena. Thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Amanda with the 5. Lance with the 5. Corey with the 5. Abrina with the 1. Mason with the 5. Caitlin with the 5. Gabby, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Who says, I don't know
That's
how
so
you remain so
pitiful.
patient. Well,
It's pitiful.
Wait, it's pitiful to thank people when they give you money?
No, it's pitiful to be begging people for money.
Wait, how am I begging people for money when I'm just
You
thanking
seem
them
like
for
a
the
capable.
donations?
Hey, you seem like a capable young man. You seem like you go to school,
wait,
get your
you
degree,
just
and get an
you just seem
actual job.
jealous. Wait, this
You seem
isn't.
like you get an actual job.
This isn't an actual job. Define job.
Well, begging for money isn't a job.
Define job.
A job is where you go to a workplace. You bring your skills, your expertise,
Bring
and
skill to
you help the company grow.
Okay,
What you're doing is
I
begging
just
for
want to
money
ensure. So you're telling me that a job to you is going to a workplace, bringing skill and
and
making money.
contributing. Yeah, you're contributing.
Okay, so per your definition of job, John, I do have a job because I go to my workplace, I go to my studio, I bring my skill, my knowledge, and my ability to debate, and then I generate an income right through donations, and I provide to society by educating
you don't
individuals
have
and
to do
advocating
that.
for
You
a
can
better
get-
tomorrow.
you can-
So thank you for telling me that I have a job, John. Let me go on and finish thanking people for their contributions to the job. Gabby, thank you once again for the $20. Show some love to Gabby in that chat. Jess, thank you for the 5. Kyle with the 5. Paige with the 5. And Oscar, thank you so much for the $11 and the 11 cents. Thank you so much, Oscar. Holy shit. And then, yo, Cheryl, thank you for the $100 over on Venmo. Oh my God, this is so pitiful for me. Holy shit, I need to stop begging. Cheryl with $100 says, thank you for what you do. Keep it up. Let's fucking go, Cheryl. Yo, can you say W Cheryl, John?
Absolutely not.
W Cheryl, W panhandling, Ali, thank you for the $10, quote unquote, only because you begged.
An old woman that can't afford to send you things, but she's sending it to you because you're pitiful. You're pathetic.
Dude, I'm
And you're
so
person.
pathetic. Oh my God. Also, don't assume that Cheryl is old, and don't assume
That's
that
an
Cheryl
old
doesn't
name.
have
That's
the
an old
means.
woman's name.
Well, Ali, thank you for the $10 only because you begged. Raquel, thank you for the $5 for the panhandling. Jojo with the $5 for the panhandling. Alexa with the $10 and woke us so back, so real. And then Ashlyn with the $3. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you, Ashlyn. Ashlyn actually says, Berkeley grad here using food stamps while I intern so that I could afford to live and serve my community. So earlier you said that people on food stamps are stupid, and Ashlyn is on food stamps and is a Berkeley grad. So are you saying that because Ashlyn is on food stamps and you think people on food stamps are stupid and she's a Berkeley grad, that therefore it's possible for Berkeley grads to be stupid?
Of course, there are plenty of people with degrees.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you so much, stupid John. Now back to the panhandling. Sella, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, saying Trump begs me for money and emails every day. He must not have a job. Mr. Panhandler Trump, thank you for supporting the grift, Sella. And then Jared, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo for the panhandling. Thank you so much, Jared. Show some love to Jared. And then, let's hear Fabio. Thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal for the panhandling, saying fuck Jonathan, who fuck Steve. Alexander, thank you so much for the $5. Zoe, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal for the panhandling. Let's fucking go. Jacqueline, thank you so much for the $10 as well for the panhandling. Madeline, thank you so much for the $20, saying can't listen to you beg anymore, bro, just take it. Bro, W panhandling, W Madeline. And then, a big one here. Holy shit. Aaron, thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. Holy shit. Thank you so much for the love, Aaron. I'm so sorry. You guys are going fucking insane today. Aaron, with $100 on PayPal, says, hey, might be worth noting that ending corporate subsidies would save the average taxpayer around $500 in taxes. Yeah, maybe we need to end those corporate subsidies. As well as John with the 50 euros over on Super Chat, who says, keep it up, Dino. Thank you so much, John. Net with a $10, saying, would he say that Charlie Kirk was also panhandling since he did the same shit? I don't know. Heather, thank you so much for the $10, saying that Logical Burn was a total W. Thank you so much for supporting the grift. Bo, thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat, who says, thanks for begging, Dean. Thank you for supporting the grift. Thank you, Bo. Brittany with the $5 for the grift. Madeline with the 3. Brandy with the 5. Wanda with the 5. And then Amy, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Quote unquote, for the real job. Politicians beg and whine and solicit millions from us, so I guess politics isn't a real job. Yeah, no, politics is it's just not a real job, quite frankly. And they actually beg. See, I don't beg, but politicians do. Then Christian, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the panhandling. Mark, thank you for the $10 saying non-educated panhandler. Jalel with a $1. Jake with the 5. Brandon with the 10. Thank you guys so much for the love. And then Hayes, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal for the panhandle. And Cornell with the 20 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat for the panhandle, saying another self-proclaimed educated MAGA who doesn't understand that we need reason to believe in things. Keep up the good work, Dean. And then also Colin with the $10 over on Super Chat for the panhandling. Appreciate you guys so much for the love, and I apologize for intruding upon our conversation, John. I just had to thank all the people for supporting the grift.
I just want to say one last thing to you, okay, and to your supporters, your enablers, really.
The enablers.
You are a dead end, right? You don't have an organization. You don't have a degree. You're not going to get one. You're not going to run for public office because no one's going to vote for someone with no degree. You're literally a dead end. You're just taking up all this money just for you to go and live some life that I don't even know what you do.
Hey, I have a question. Do dead ends typically interview the world, like currently the world's most poppin' politician, Zoran Mamdani, and interview the sitting chairman of the DNC in the last 48 hours?
A terrorist?
Oh,
a terrorist that's now the mayor?
Yes, Zoran Mamdani is a terrorist. You're saying that because he's Muslim, right?
New York was bombed by Muslims, and now they have
of course.
Their mayor?
Yeah, the educated UC Berkeley grad, right, thinks that if you're a Muslim, you're therefore a terrorist. Muslim
attacks are going to go up by 50%. I bet you that.
So I just want to clarify. So you're saying because Muslims, like bomb the towers, that therefore all Muslims are terrorists. So would you argue that because Christians did the Crusades, that therefore all Christians are terrorists?
That was hundreds of years ago.
Oh, okay. So it has to be like
even equate that to
So it has to be like in like modern history. Okay, so because 2 Christian men blew up a building and killed 300 people in a domestic terror attack on American soil about 20 years ago, and they were both white men that were Christian, right? Therefore, all white Christian men are terrorists?
One or two examples is not enough to compare it to the absolute degeneracy of Islam. Islam is a degenerate religion. They kill people for fun.
So you're saying it's a degenerate religion because they kill people for fun? Okay. Well, I mean, you do understand that like God commanded genocide in 1 Samuel 15:3 of the Christian Bible, telling his supporters to kill, quote unquote, all the men, women, and children. Right. So would you say that therefore Christianity is a degenerate religion as well?
That was Old Testament.
Okay, so you're saying that you interpret the Christian Bible in such a way that doesn't lead to the conclusion that genocide nor murder is okay, right? And only fundamentalists, right, of the Christian text would hold on to an interpretation and yield a varying conclusion. Well, many Muslim individuals interpret the Quran in such a way that doesn't entail the conclusion, right, that like genocide, murders, honor killing, so on and so forth.
What do you mean interpret?
And only
They're inbred.
particular,
They are inbred.
And only particular fundamentalists would as well. See, the issue that I have with you, John, right, is you could actually find like grave issues, right, in like all three major Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, right? You could read their text and you could see crazy, crazy things, right? But the thing is vast majority of Christians, vast majority of Jewish individuals, and vast majority of Muslim individuals hold on to interpretations of their religious scripture, right, that don't say that these crazy things are okay, right? And I just find it insane for you to then turn around, right, superimpose a fundamentalist view of the Quran onto all Muslims, labeling them as terrorists, while then also in the same breath rejecting the existence of a possible fundamentalist view of a religion like Christianity. Right? In the same way that you could say Aisha was 9, I could say Mary was 13. In the same way you could say, right, well, that in the Bible they're okay with slavery. Sorry, not in the Bible. In the Quran they're okay with slavery. Well, in the Bible, Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46, God gives the rules on where to get slaves from. Right? In the same way you could say in the Quran there's parts where they are okay with genocide. Once again, God commands genocide in 1 Samuel 15:3 of the Christian Bible. So how about this? How about we say that fundamentalist interpretations of any religion are harmful, regardless if it is Islam, Christianity, Judaism, so on or so forth?
I don't want to get away from the fact that you're a dead end, and I don't really want to.
Yeah, because you don't want to respond to that because you know.
You're a dead end.
Right, yeah,
you're a lost cause.
This dead end is frying your shit right now.
Taking people's money.
This dead
You're taking
end
these
is frying
hard-working people's money. They have jobs, Dean. They have actual jobs.
This dead end is
Taking
frying
money.
your shit right now, dude.
Are you donating this money to charity? Are you giving this to the food stamp people?
You don't believe
What are
in-
you doing?
you
Hold
don't
on,
believe
tell
in
me, what are you doing
charity.
with this money? What are you doing with this money?
You don't
Tell
believe
me.
in charity.
Tell me what you're doing with this money, Dean.
Wait, if the state doesn't have an obligation to prevent people from starving, then why do I have an obligation to tell you where I spend my money?
Because you're getting this money from different people. Tell your viewers what you're doing with their money. Are you buying M3s?
Well, I think with this money, I'm going to spend.
Are you buying M3s and M5s?
I'm going to spend a bit of it on my rent, some on my food. Amanda, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Amanda. Let's get 500 Amanda W's. Amanda with the $50 says, just here to be an enabler. Thank you so much for the love, Amanda. And then Jojo, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, who says, Dean for president. Thank you for the love, Jojo. Show some
Absolutely
love to
not.
Jojo. Thank you so much for the love. Yeah, I'm going to be your president one day, boy. Be scared.
Absolutely not.
Right, and then Caleb. Oh, you better get to packing, bro. We got a snowflake over here. Caleb with the $20. Thank you so much for enabling me. Thank you, Caleb. Samantha with the $10 saying, how many school pew-pewings by Christians? We saw an alt-right Christian shoot up Evergreen High School in Colorado literally 2 months ago. Lars, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo saying John sucks more than the Bears. Thank you for the love, Lars. And Peter, thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo. Holy shit, let's get 1,000 Peter W's. Peter says, this is for whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Thank you for the $100, Peter. Holy shit. Can I get a quick W, Peter, from you?
Hell no.
Why not? Why don't you want to thank Peter for his
Because you're
generosity?
taking these. This is a stick for you. You're taking these people's money. These innocent people.
Wait. Peter just donated that $100.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He's giving money to you, a degenerate.
He doesn't know what he's doing? I think, Peter, do you know what you're doing?
None of these people know what they're
No,
doing.
they just don't know what they're doing.
They don't know who
Jared,
you really are.
thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo saying John is the dead end. I'm better educated than him and more than happy to donate to Dean. Thank you, Jared. Mason with a $1 and Vintage with a 10. Thank you so much. Diego with a $10 on PayPal. Thank you for supporting me at Dead End. And Rodney, thank you so. Oh my God, Rodney with $100 over on PayPal. Jesus Christ, thank you for the love. Rodney says this is my first donation to a streamer. Thank you, John. Thanks to John. Wait, so Ronnie just said that the reason he just donated me $100 is his first ever donation to a streamer is because of you. How does that make you feel?
Terrible.
Vinny with $20. Thank you, Vinny. And then Peter with another $50 who says, I sure do know what I'm doing, John. Thank you for the love, Peter. Thank you guys. You guys are seriously fucking going insane. And then Baran with a $25 says, I know exactly what I'm doing. Thank you, Baran. Tessa with a 1, Xavier with a 10, Ellison with a 7, Corrine with a 5, Ryan with a 10, Damaris with a $15, Diego with a 10, Jojo, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Jojo. Cinderella, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Cinderella. And then Cassidy with the $5 as well. Okay, I really appreciate you guys so much for the love. I'm gonna read off one more here. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. Michael saying if only college degrees could be revoked like law or medical licenses. I think he'd be up for review. Thank you so much for the $50.
They can be revoked. He's not intelligent.
Thank you so much. And then Lucas with the $50 says, fuck Islamophobic people like John. Oh, absolutely, Lucas. Thank you so much for love. Show some love to Lucas down below. I think that you made like an absolutely terrible comment that I didn't respond to. You said that Muslim individuals are inbred.
Yeah, they're inbred.
Oh, wow.
That's what they do. They marry their first cousin or whoever was around, I guess.
Sorry, the only religious text that I'm familiar with that's okay with incest is the Christian Bible.
That's besides the point. We're talking about how much of a loser
Wait, I
you
mean,
are.
like, think about it. Story of Adam and Eve, story of Genesis 1. Let's look at Genesis 1 real quick. So God created humans with the intention of them being perfect. Of course, he gave them free will and they sinned with that. But he intended for them to be perfect, act in accordance and not sin. However, right, because Adam and Eve were the only two humans that he created and he intended for them to be good and perfect and he intended for them to reproduce, right? This means that he intended for them to reproduce with one another and then for their children to reproduce with one another, while also still assuming that intention of perfection, meaning that according to the original intention and design of humanity to reproduce and flourish with that reproduction stemming from only two people, right? The set forth consequence here would be that in the eyes of God, in some scenarios, incest is perfect.
That's besides the point. What I'm trying to tell you.
Because why? Because it's not the Quran. That's why it's besides the point, right?
No, Dean, you're a loser. You're a loser. You have no degree. You're not doing anything with your life. You're not doing anything with your life, Dean.
The only thing that degree is doing.
Do your parents know what you're doing? Do your parents know that you're up here panhandling?
So the only thing that degree is doing for you, John, is it's a talking point on your Hinge profile. But even then, I don't know it's doing much, since I bet you haven't been swiped right on in about 3 months, right? And then 3 months ago, the last time somebody did swipe right and went on a date, they likely ended up filing a restraining order. And then you looked at yourself in the mirror that night and said, "Oh, she was a bitch," right? Is that how it went?
No, I have great success with women, and I have an entire career. That's what my degree is for. Thank you very much. And for you right now in this instance, you don't. And you're not doing anything with your life. And your parents should really get involved and have an intervention because where are you going? No, hold on. Where are you going? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What am I going to do the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shit, I think that I have a lot of open doors. The possibilities are endless.
No, you don't.
Listen, man, I'm 21 years old and, I'm already trying to change minds and influence the next generation of Americans to be better.
You're not influencing anyone. You're just taking their money.
You just said that I'm not influencing anybody in front of over 20,000 people live.
Yeah, they're just here to watch the clown panhandle. That's all you do.
They're here to watch the clown?
You're a fool. That's what you are.
Okay. Well, this fool absolutely destroyed
all of this is going to evaporate. All of this is going to evaporate.
Real quick, for everyone watching, can we please get some snowflake emojis in the chat for the woke right?
Okay.
Can we get some baby bottles too? Listen, man. Listen. I just want to make it clear. Just want to make it clear for you, my friend. This is a debate panel where we try to have productive and constructive dialogue concerning the state of the United States of America, the political divide that exists, and the powers that oversee it. And the way that this conversation started was merely
you called me stupid. You started it. You called me stupid. You started the entire thing.
Yes, so I want to make it clear,
So you take
John.
responsibility.
After you called,
and you apologized to me.
After you called 42 million Americans that are reliant on food stamps, including 13 million children, the disabled, the working, and the elderly, stupid. I did indeed call you stupid. That wasn't an
but I wasn't talking to you
reality, and I'm so
specifically.
sorry if truth hurts.
I wasn't talking to you specifically, so you owe me an apology.
You were talking to me because when I was younger,
wasn't.
I was relying on food stamps.
Oh well, that shows.
How does that show?
You're a food stamp baby, always sucking off society, always sucking for money. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing right now.
When I was younger, I was also on
Food stamp
Medicaid.
baby.
When I was also on Medicaid.
You're a food stamp baby.
Right, for like a lot of my
Say
youth.
it.
Like
Say it. I'm a food stamp baby.
One
Say it.
second, John. No, let me tell you all of my qualifications here. For a bit of my youth, I was on.
You're
food
malnourished.
stamps. For a bit
You're
of my-
malnourished.
Let me.
Your
finish.
brain is underdeveloped.
Hey, can you calm down a little bit, John?
You're underdeveloped.
We heard you the first time. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and finish. what I'm
And
saying.
malnourished.
I need to.
You're malnourished.
I need to tell you all my qualifications here, John. So when I was younger,
Qualifications, you have none.
Let me tell you, John. Can you stop interrupting like a man baby?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So when I was younger, for a certain point in my life, I was on food stamps. I was also on Medicaid. Okay, right. For a little bit, I wouldn't doubt it if my mom was receiving Section 8. There was even like a time in my youth where my mother was homeless. Look at all those qualifications. I was getting Medicaid. I was getting food stamps, maybe Section 8. How does that make you feel, John? Am I the boogeyman?
You are the exact product of all of those incidences. You are the exact product. You are the epitome of a leech. You are a bloodsucker.
No, why
a
is
money
that?
sucker.
Why is that?
You suck up society. That's what you've always been doing.
How so?
You don't take care of yourself. You rely on other people. That's
Wait.
been you your entire life.
Wait, I have a question. Do you have a garden at your house?
A what?
Do you have a garden at your house where you grow your own food?
Yes, I do.
And every meal that you eat is from that garden?
No.
Oh, so for some of like the food that you eat, you go where? The grocery store?
Exactly.
If it wasn't for the farmers or the truckers, would you be able to find food to eat at the grocery store?
And if it wasn't for me buying those groceries,
I just want to clarify.
You're trying.
Right, like to a certain extent, like you rely on others. He left. John, dude, why do they get so pissed off? Like, oh my god, like, dude, what an emotional man. I just love that, like, people like John, they can't like get through to me. You know what I mean? It's like they just can't piss me off. I just hear it all day, every day. It just there's just such a clear difference between me and them. They just can't piss me off. Their big feelings are just annoying, honestly. You know, they don't anger me. They just kind of annoy me a little bit. Like, holy fuck! I think John needs a binky. I think John needs a binky. And I think he needs a refund on that degree. Obviously, isn't doing much for him. Hey Gary, do you support Trump? That would be a child. Make sure if you find yourself in the queue that you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got User connecting right now, guys. Just make sure that you're following the rules. As well as Trinity, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Robert with the 5,
Hey,
Tess
man.
with the 10. What's up, User? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, and what time is it?
Why'd you need to know?
Because you're British.
Look at my profile. I'm over 18, bro.
So what time is it?
Right now it's 9 p.m.
Okay. It's actually 9 p.m. in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean right now. Mm-hmm. So are you on a cruise?
Wow, why can't we have this debate?
So I just want to clarify. Are you on a cruise?
Man, let me get this straight.
I just want to clarify. Let me get this straight. Are you on a cruise? Yeah, we're gonna go to get that next guest loaded up in here, guys. Make sure if you're inside of that queue that you are an American adult that wants to come up here and debate me on why you support Trump, and show some love to Elena. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo, who says I'm making this a monthly donation. Keep up the good work, Elena. Thank you so much for supporting my panhandling. I'm just sucking all of your money. Thank you so much, Elena. Show some love to Elena down below. That is ELENA. Thank you so much for your kindness. Very seriously, thank you so much, Elena. What's going on, 5? Do you support Trump?
I got a quick question. How is dude who was just in here making fun of food stamps when he's driving a piece of shit Ranger?
Well, I don't know if I know the connection, but you know what? Get his ass. But anyways, so why do you support Trump?
No, that's all I had to say.
No, okay, all right. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest here, guys. Hop inside of that queue if you support Trump. Nicholas, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, saying, TBH, I'm just here to watch the clown. He's just as confused. Who is the clown? Yeah, that motherfucker was a clown. As well as Jessica, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica says, you've helped me change my mom's mind. She's no longer MAGA because of you. Keep melting the snowflakes. Oh, yeah, we're going to be melting the snowflakes for like another 2.5 hours. Thank you for the love, Jessica. And dude, please tell your mom that I appreciate the hell out of her. Shout out to Jessica and her mom. What's up, Ethan? Do you support Trump?
I did actually when he got elected, and now I'm kind of in a pickle. I've been looking at his policies recently, and now I'm kind of debating on whether or not I even support him anymore.
You know what? Let's see if we can help push you over the edge here. So what I'm interested in, right, is maybe not the reasons why you're like conflicted insofar as being against Trump, because we agree on those. What I'm interested in hearing from you are what are the reasons that leave you in a point of confliction of still being pro-Trump?
Pro-Trump, I'm a very pro-business. I'm a finance student currently. I'm studying at Cincinnati in Ohio. And I like a lot of his policies going tax cut, like the 2017 tax cuts, for example, where he gave money back not only to the bigger businesses, but also to middle-class Americans as well. Mm-hmm. Now, do I know the exact statistics on how that affected government programs, et cetera, et cetera? No. But as an American, I do like having that extra money in my pocket at the end of every tax year.
Yeah, so here's what I'd say about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act the first time around. I'd give it a C-, because although it gave some tax cuts to the middle class, right? It's good to give tax breaks to the average American. 85% of the cuts in the bill went to the top 1%. It cost $1.9 trillion and generated little to no economic activity, only $30 billion per year for GDP, and did not create any new jobs and did not incentivize any new macro level business or investment. That was a C-, okay?
And I agree with you on the macro level economic business. I have looked into that to myself, and I was more worried about the individual side, the citizens getting that money back in their pocket. I feel as an American, they feel that type of boost.
Right.
And that
listen. So that's why I give it a C-, not an F-, okay? Right.
Okay. No, I agree with you on that.
There's some benefit of it towards the average American. Okay, but that was Trump 1.0. Let's look at Trump 2.0 with a big, beautiful bill.
2.0, personally, mine was the border, the illegal border crossings. I found that to be an issue. Do I agree that the legal process in the U.S. is not great? 100%. There needs to be more avenues for people to get in here, but I do agree that the border needs to be shut down, at least until we can figure that out.
Okay, so you're saying that that you support Donald Trump the second time around because of how effectively he's been able to reduce undocumented entry.
Correct, to my knowledge as of right now. There may be some piece of evidence you have on me that I don't know, but as of right now, yes.
Well, here's the question. What good policies he passed to effectively reduce undocumented entry?
What was that, sorry?
Here's the question. What good policy has he passed to effectively reduce undocumented entry?
Didn't he shut down the border effectively, closing down the border?
How so?
And upping ICE patrols.
So, what did he do to shut the border down?
Did he? Off my knowledge, did he not pass a act on his first day in office where he passed 70 different acts, and one of them was closing down the border, adding more ICE agents to him, an executive order of some type?
So ICE agents usually handle deportations in the country. You'd say Border Patrol is who's actually looking over the southern border. Now, on day one, we heard that he wanted to deploy some troops to the southern border, and I'm actually not sure if that's actually happened. But what I do know is that did happen under the Biden-Harris administration. They were able to get 15,000 troops deployed at the southern border, and obviously it didn't have much of an impact. So I'd say that's pretty ineffective. See, what I would say, right, the president has done to reduce undocumented entry, right, is by disincentivizing it, by scaring them away, by being a fascist and violating both the human and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants that are already here.
True, because they have now been bouncing around, not only going after the illegal one, not in the sense that everyone is illegal. I've gone into depths on how this works, but it's now they're not only targeting the criminals, it's whoever they bounce into across the street. And I feel like that is, I agree with you in that sense. They need to be strictly.
It's really bad, right? We see plainclothes, masked ICE agents that don't have to give their name, ripping naked children.
I saw a video on TikTok. They hopped out the back of a van and arrested some 16-year-old, didn't document nothing. Now, do I know if they knew that car with the license plate and they were following her? From the video, the car was parked and they got out the back of the van going towards her. And now that raises some questions like how effectively is ICE really going through these routines?
By the way, we see that every day, okay? Like we're seeing students like black bagged by ICE agents and taken to detention centers 1,000 miles away, violating the withholding order of judges. We're seeing Venezuelan immigrants deported without due process, violating their constitutional rights. We saw Abrigo Garcia illegally deported by the Trump administration to El Salvador, where he was beaten, tortured, and starved for 3 months. Fact of the matter, right? It's these actions and more, right, that are causing there to be such a significant reduction in undocumented entry by scaring it away. Now, this is bad for many reasons. First reason is that it's immoral. I hope I don't need to explain that one. And
as a Christian, I think my morals are pretty good.
Right, and then the second reason that it's immoral, the second reason why it's wrong is because it's short term. The moment that we no longer have a president that wants to, play pretend fascist, right, and like violate human and constitutional rights, that incentive structure is going to reverse and that undocumented entry is going to resume unless we have good effective policy passed to reduce it by making the legal means of entry into this country better. And those are the reasons why you shouldn't support the Trump administration, even though they've been able to reduce undocumented entry.
I agree with you actually on that, Dean. I like how you went through that and explained that. It was a good job. I really do appreciate that. Good. And as my final little note before I go, the reason why I've been turning on Trump, the Epstein files. I'm sure everyone is still wondering about those. And I just want to bring that point up real quick. I don't know if you have any thoughts or anything, but that is another thing that needs to be explained. There needs to be some sort of explanation and some sort on that situation.
So you're saying that you're turning on Trump because you think he might be in them?
There's a chance. I would say it'd be wrong to say there's not a chance.
So arguably you're saying that you definitely would stop supporting Trump right now if you knew that he had like raped women or sexually exploited little girls.
I mean, there's obviously the letters between him and Epstein, the photos. I went on and I watched Johnny Harris's thing between him and Trump and everything like that. And there definitely is a connection between them. I just want to see the evidence come to fruit in like a court or something where someone is prosecuted and they are held accountable. Well, I guess that's the moment.
I just want to be clear here. Like, if this moment comes where like you have certain damning evidence that Donald Trump has like raped women, sexually exploited little girls, right? Would you certainly stop supporting him?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. I feel
like where you're going. I know you're going to bring something up.
I feel like you're good faith. So honestly, like,
I like to think I'm a good person. I mean, I look out for the morals of people. And
my hopes are high here. My hopes are high here that you actually might change your mind here. So Donald Trump has already been. So I just want you to really listen to me here. Donald Trump has already been found by a court to have raped a woman. So in 2023, you could find this online by typing in Trump v. E. Jean Carroll, EGEANCARROL. Donald Trump was held civilly liable and found guilty of the sexual abuse or rape of E. Jean Carroll, right? So a court has already determined that he's done that. Now, on that second point, right, a sexual exploitation, he's actually boasted about the sexual exploitation he's engaged in by barging into women's only spaces and looking at the naked women while they're in there and changing. And I'll actually go ahead and play that clip for you now while you're looking at that civil court that found him guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll on your computer screen.
These foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with the vagina. And
well, you could also say as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So just to quickly catch everybody up and get you on track before I pass you the mic, you told us that you would stop supporting Trump if you had certain evidence that he has maybe raped a woman or sexually exploited women and or girls. Okay, so on your computer screen in front of you, I heard you type it in. Right, you are now looking at what is likely an article reporting the jury verdict that Donald Trump was found by court to have raped E. Jean Carroll, and you just heard Donald Trump boast about sexually exploiting naked women and or naked girls by walking into their private spaces while they were undressed and changing.
Oh, it was utterly disgusting to hear. I had never heard that audio footage before. No, Dean, I completely agree with you. I had never heard that before, and hearing that now, and I've heard about the court case, rumors of it. I never actually looked for it myself, and that's on my own part, not doing my research. But hearing that audio clip now from you, that's, as a Christian, I mean, I know you're not Christian or any religious of any sort, but me personally with my values, that does not resonate with me, and that's not someone who I want to leave my country, let alone make policies that change my everyday life.
That's awesome to hear. It gets worse. I'm going to go to play you a couple other ones too.
Oh, there's more.
What is going on?
Well, I don't think
With their students?
Okay, so it's cutting off here, but the interviewer is saying that teachers are having sex with their students.
Okay.
Let's go to play
It's not crazy. What is going on with their students? Is this not crazy? What is going on?
Well, I don't think the male students have been hurt by it. In fact, they're going around bragging about it, as I understand it. So, it's I don't see a lot of damage done.
Fair enough.
But it's a very unusual situation. I would say her husband cannot be happy.
Oh, you are bad.
So that's a clip of Donald Trump saying that when a teacher in school rapes one of their male boy students, right?
It's funny you say that. There was actually a teacher in a local town who actually did get with a local student, and this is about 20 minutes away from me, and it's disgusting. Dean, I gotta go. I am sorry, but I appreciate you taking the time and talking to me, and definitely am way more open, and if not, definitely changed my mind on the current state right now.
I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope you keep listening in, man. I appreciate you for your open-mindedness.
No, I'm here for the truth.
Have a good
one, Dean.
See, I kind of like it. I kind of like Christians like Ethan that say, well, the Bible says I got to be a good person. That use Christianity not as a weapon of hate or division, but rather as a symbol of genuine love in the creation of the greater good, right? Through moral virtues to aspire to be better and aspire for others to be the same, to do the same. I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for that. So thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Ethan. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the stream right now, folks. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
22.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to thank 4 people here. Then I'll pass you the mic. First and foremost, Salem, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. She says, God, fine, I'll donate to you since you won't stop begging us. That came in a little bit ago when Mr. John was up, but I still want to be able to thank you. As well as Michael, thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. I actually already thanked you, Michael, but thank you once again. And then Howard Moore, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat as well. Let's get 500 Howard W's, who says, Adam and Eve weren't real, Dean, but keep taking these clowns down. There's interpretations of the Christian Bible, even from theists, arguing that it's all parabolic, which is the best interpretation, by the way. But thank you for the $50. And then Tom, thank you so much for the $20, who says, Dean, love your work. Thank you so much, Tom. Show some love to Tom. Thank you so much. And then Brandon with a $1 over on Venmo, saying, making sure this is the right account. Yup, right account. And then Susan with a $10. Thank you so much. And then Matthew with the $10 over on PayPal. Good to see you again, Matthew. You are always in here. And Janet with the $10 as well. Jillian with the $10 on PayPal, and then Cammy with the $20 on PayPal. He says, no, John, you are the one that sucks. I hope that John is still in here so he knows that you think that he fucking sucks. Thank you so much for the love, Cammy. Show some love to Cammy down below in that chat. And then Danielle with the $10 saying, my show is on. Good to see you, Danielle. Katie with the $5, and Tori with the $10 as well. And holy shit, dude, Mina, thank you so much for the $153 donation on PayPal. Dude, what the fuck is going on today, Mina? Thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. That is literally insane. Fucking insane. Mina with $153. I do not deserve that. Amina says, Dean, stop begging right now. Keep up the good fight. Here's to the blue wave. Oz is right behind you. Mina, dude, thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you for your kind words as well. The blue wave came last night, and it's going to come again in 2026 with the midterms. Huge shout out to you. I want to see nothing but W's for Mina in that chat for the next 10 minutes. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Patino with the $20 who says, keep up the great work, Dean. You are an amazing human. Thank you for the love, Patino. Cassandra, thank you for the 10. Camden with a 10. And Angel with a 10. Those are all donations that came through when I was having a chat with John that I haven't been able to read off yet. But thank you guys so much for the love. There's a handful of others that I still need to thank. But I'm actually, at this point, going to go and pass the mic to Savage Savvy so we could start our debate. And I'll just interject and thank some of the other donors in the middle of it. So go ahead. Tell us why you're MAGA.
Okay, well,
actually, what year were you born in?
2003.
And how old did you say you were? 22?
22.
Okay, so why do you support Trump?
Recently, I think he's passed something called a HALT Act, which is I think is very important because it's like stopping drugs or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I'm also.
So wait. Well, actually, I have a question. What were you doing? What were you doing during the shutdowns?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Nothing. Just chilling at home with my husband.
So you were married when you were 17 years old?
Yes. Is there a problem with?
I don't believe you. I find that to be incredibly unlikely. Possible, but unlikely enough for me to not believe you and kick you. Dude, look who's back. Look who the hell's back. Why does this guy keep coming back, man? Hey, Carla, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Who says, thanks, Dean. Thank you, Carla. And Jen with the $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Carla and Jen. You guys are awesome. Buddy, what the hell are you doing back?
What'd you let me up for?
Because I saw you in the queue. It's your third day here. Why do you keep coming back? I'm just curious.
So it's my fault you let me up.
It's your fault you joined the queue.
Is it your fault my fault you let me up?
No, I'm the one that accepted you.
Well, I was just want to make sure you was taking accountability for your actions.
Okay. So why do you keep coming back?
Instead of blaming somebody else. Because I can. Because it's TikTok.
Yeah.
Because it's free world. Pick an answer. I mean, any of it.
So what did you come up to talk about today?
You know. Well, we've conceded on abortion. I mean, I keep smoking you on that one.
Buddy, you're so delusional. It's crazy.
I love how you think I'm the one that's delusional. That's hilarious. That is delusional.
You?
That's good. That's good. I mean, we can go back through it. I mean, I don't mind re-roasting you.
Okay. Well, I'm actually just going to make this one quick since you've already been up here the last 2 days in a row. So you think that abortion is wrong because you think that all humans have the right to life, but you don't think that it's murder to pull the plug on a brain dead patient in the hospital, causing them to die, even if they do not have a DNR, although a brain dead patient is both human and biologically alive, meaning that you do not think that all biologically alive humans have the right to life, implying that therefore when you say the fetus has the right to life, which makes abortion wrong, because the fetus is both human and alive, you are contradicting yourself. Any thoughts, buddy? Oh, I muted you because of the background noise. Any thoughts, buddy?
We playing the mutant game, huh? Yeah. So that's inaccurate.
Are you driving?
They actually consider it not to be murder if you pull the plug on somebody. Research that. So
are you driving?
Wow. So you're saying that I'm in agreement with studies? I'm in a agreement with doctors.
Are you driving?
Is that right? No.
Then who's driving? Because you're in a moving car.
No, I'm not.
Okay, then turn off the AC.
It's freaking 45 degrees where I'm at. I ain't got the AC on, bro.
And then step away from the fan?
There's no fan.
Well, what's that background noise?
I don't hear it.
I just sent you an invite to turn on your camera. Prove to us you're not in a vehicle.
That is the sound of delusion. I guess.
I just sent you an invite to turn on your camera. Prove to us you're not in a vehicle. You have the ability. I just sent you an invite. Accept the invite and turn your camera on. Oh wait, why are you randomly cutting out now? Typically that happens when you're driving and you go into spots with bad connection. Dude's a fucking liar. What's up, Jonathan? Do you support Trump?
Oh, yes, I do.
Jonathan, how old are you?
I am 39.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's talk, Jonathan. Before we do, let me quickly thank a couple people here. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for the $20 over... Oh, excuse me. Ooh, Elizabeth with the $20 on PayPal. Thank you, Elizabeth. Let's go to get 200 Elizabeth W's. Elizabeth says, Blue Dot in Red East, Tennessee. Hoping to see some seats flip to blue. Much love, Dean. Love catching you live. Well, I love having you in here, Elizabeth. Thank you for your kind words. I bet those seats will flip blue next year. And thank you for the $20. I'd also like to show some love to Sean A. I'm going to call you Shauna. I bet that's more like appropriate. I probably just butchered your name. Shauna, thank you for the $20 as well on Venmo, who says, thank you for everything that you do. I truly believe that you are the difference that we need to see in the world. world. Thank you so much, Shauna. Show some love to Elizabeth and Shauna down below, guys. Thank you so much for the love. And if you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in the pinned message on YouTube. Now back to you, Jonathan. I see your profile picture there. You're a Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
How can any good Christian support Trump as president when he's so anti-Christian? Let's go ahead and go through how. I'm going to split this into two categories, character and policy. First, his character so vehemently anti-Christian, as he isn't even a Christian. He says he's never repented to God for a sin in his life. That would be a necessary work of the faith in order to maintain a relationship with God. Not to mention he's also cheated on all three of his wife. That's anti-Christian. One of them with a porn star. That's anti-Christian. He raped E. Jean Carroll. That's anti-Christian. He boasted about sexually exploiting naked women and naked girls at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA. That's anti-Christian. He lied over 30,000 confirmed times in his first term. That's anti-Christian. He said that he'd be dating his daughter if she wasn't his daughter. That's anti-Christian. He said he'd be dating a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. That's anti-Christian. He was best buddies with Epstein and sent him a letter depicting the body of a naked woman in the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." That's anti-Christian. And I mean, those are only some facts of his category. We could also go on to include his racism, calling all black people lazy. That's anti-Christian. Saying that people shouldn't vote for Obama essentially because he's black, arguing that he was born in Africa, even though he has a birth certificate from Hawaii. That's anti-Christian. Calling for the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park Five. That's anti-Christian. Or refusing to rent to black tenants in the 70s simply because of their race and then being sued for it by the state's Justice Department. That's anti-Christian. Now to move on to policy, okay? He supports a redistribution of wealth from the poor to the rich when both Matthew and Psalms tells you that you should care about those that are more needy than yourselves, such as the fact that according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, because of his big beautiful bill, it's going to reduce the purchasing power of 156 million American citizens making at or under $51,000 per year and then disproportionately increasing it for everybody that makes more than that. That's obviously anti-Christian. Also under the big beautiful bill, 10 million low-income Americans are going to lose access to health care. That's anti-Christian because that's going to kill them. That's definitely not treating the needy well. And right now he's breaking the law, right? Refusing to comply with the court order and refusing to feed 42 million starving Americans. That's so obviously anti-Christian. Not to mention his policy-oriented agendas on immigrants, right? We read in Leviticus 19:11 that you're supposed to treat the native-born the same as the foreigners that reside among you, but then he treats them so differently he doesn't think they have rights, taking away their right to due process, their right to birthright citizenship. That's anti-Christian. Lying on their name, treating them unfairly and poorly, saying that they've all escaped mental asylums and prisons, saying that they're poisoning the blood of this country. That's anti-Christian. Literally playing judge, jury, and executioner with their lives, having them beaten and tortured like Abrigo Garcia was in CCOT. That's anti-Christian. Blackbagging college students, that's anti-Christian, right? Kidnapping naked children and then throwing them backs of U-Haul vans, that's anti-Christian. Or even like his foreign policy, like speaking in front of the UN General Assembly and saying that all of these other countries are shitholes, okay? Speaking so negatively to others, that's anti-Christian. Should I keep going?
Hey, it's your talk show, man. I thought you let your guests speak, but if you want to keep on going, go ahead. You asked me a question, then you answered it for like an hour straight. But yeah, go ahead, dude.
Well, see,
it's your show, man.
I understand.
I'll talk when you let me speak.
I understand. That's
you asked me a question, then you just answered for like 15 minutes, man.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, okay.
That is such a big issue. Okay, and let me describe the issue. I understand, right, that you'd be like upset or annoyed because I just like spoke for 15 minutes. I get it. That is annoying. And the reason why I cut myself off,
it's your opinion. I mean, you're free to speak your opinion, man.
And the reason why I cut myself off is just because, you know, if I were to like truly go over like every like anti-Christian thing Donald Trump is or has done that I know, right? Like, come on, man, I'd be speaking for like 3 hours straight. Right. I'm sorry that there's so many things that Donald Trump has done and does do that are so obviously anti-Christian. There's just so many that it honestly turns into this long soliloquy. Right. But, you know, the point still stands. Right. I mean, we could have just written a goddamn book. Right. Going over all the things Donald Trump is or has done or will do that are anti-Christian. So how can you as a good Christian support him as president?
Yeah, good point. Well, first of all, there's always hearsay and there can be facts you're saying that are true or based on the news you watch, or I can say things that could be true or not true. And we have to first of all agree that I can go on a list of things that I say he's good at, or I can go on a list of and read for an hour about things that Republicans are saying are evil about Biden or Obama. So, but the main thing is this, is that everybody has sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So if I were to pull up Donald Trump's sins and your sins and my sins and Biden's sins, we're going to be able to write a book about all of our sins. So the first thing you do when you judge a man, you don't judge his perfection because nobody's perfect. And if you're going to read in the Bible, if you're going to bring up the Bible says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That's the first thing. So if you're going to sit here and say, hey, how can a Christian support a guy who doesn't sin? Well, actually, the Bible says we've all have sinned. And if any of us were to be filmed and everything we do is put on air and we're popular and our whole life is viewed in a camera, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would have a lot of dirt. So the first thing I do, I'm not going to judge a guy's past based on his policies, what he stands for. I think that's already a poor argument. If I were to say, hey, well, this guy has sinned before, so why would a Christian support him? Well, everybody has sinned before. That's why we need Jesus Christ. That's the first thing. So me as a Christian, the reason why I would support this guy is because you have two guys, or two parties. Both of them have done a lot of sins because all sin and fall short of the glory of God. But as a Christian, I look at who's going to support my Christian values when it comes to the rules. What do they support? So that's so to bring up the guy's sins, it's irrelevant because him and Biden are both sinners. But what I would support as a Christian, does a guy make rules that support my Christian values for my Christian kids, a Christian home? So that is why I'll support him, because I look at both parties and I see that Donald Trump does support freedom of speech, support kids not being taught LGBTQ in their elementary schools. Trump supports the fact of my 9-year-old not being able to have a sex change behind my back. I think that's evil. 9-year-olds cannot think for themselves. So for them to be taught some kind of doctrine like that, I think it's evil. Also, Donald Trump does not support men joining women's sports, which is not fair. It has caused more than 800 women to lose their position when they're getting first place in Olympic sport. They've been replaced by a man who says he's a female, and that's also cheating. But on the Democrat side, they say that, men and women are equal, but we know that's not true, because when a man breaks in the house, the man doesn't tell the woman to go fight him, and while he stays and cries in the kitchen. That's not true. There is a difference also Donald Trump supports that there's only two genders, male and female. There's not as many as you can think of. That's just insanity. There's a lot of common sense things that he supports. I don't really base my life based on his past, because like I said, you could bring up anybody's past and you're going to find a lot of dirt. So yeah, he's as a Christian, he supports the freedom for me to be able to raise my kids in the things of the Lord. He supports me being able to tell my kid that, hey, you're born a boy and you're a boy, and I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, you want to be a dog, you want to be a cat, you want to be a they, them, him, that. I mean, it's not even going to do that. A lot of insanity going on these days. So I think we need to stick by the book. And I think another thing too is that America is based off of one nation under God, and that's the God of the Bible. And what happened to Britain is what is slowly happening to America, because we all know that people came from Britain and made America what it is now. And they based it off of the Bible. You would not even be able to have this open TikTok mic if it wasn't for the Christian men that fought for our freedom, to have a freedom of speech. But now what's going on is, letting the borders be open, Prop 50 is allowing immigrants to vote. You don't have to have a ID. You don't have to have a citizenship. You could just vote, and that's cheating. I think also too, that's just dangerous, because once you let a bunch of people come in here that do not share our values, foreigners that don't even share a language, then you start giving them free stuff. It could change the culture, and there's so much to this. But it happened in Britain. They had a lot of people going there, and now Britain is becoming a communist country. So there's so much to it. But freedom of speech is very important. Freedom of religion, having that is very, very important. We fought for that. Christians fought for that. Christians fought for the freedom of the slaves, to let them be free. So I feel like the Democrats are trying to push out Christianity, and they also make it seem like if you're a Christian, you're evil. If you're a Christian, you hate people. If you're a Christian, you're prejudiced. So yeah, as a Christian, we feel like we're being attacked. We're being compared to people like Hitler. We're being compared to people like really bad people. And the only one who's kind of, or that are supporting us and getting our backs is Republicans. So yeah, Christians do not hate gays. We don't hate LGBTQ. We don't hate them. But the Democrat Party will make it seem like we do, and that's dangerous because it makes people hate us. So I think, there's so much more to that, but yeah, that's why I support Donald Trump. I support just common sense, man. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Okay, I wrote literally every single thing that you just said down. It actually totaled to an entire page in Romans, Times Roman size 11 font. But I was able to get all that down. My wrist is kind of hurting now. Let's go ahead and go through each point because there was so much that you said there that was just unequivocally bullshit. So do you want me to pick like what points I want to attack first, or do you want to pick what points I attack first?
You can attack whatever you want.
Okay, you said that you support Trump because of freedom of speech, saying that it's quote unquote important. Donald Trump has launched an attack on the First Amendment, starting with his statement that it's now quote unquote illegal to criticize him in the media, saying that he's quote unquote taking our free speech away, that TV shows shouldn't have licenses if they're attacking him, getting Jimmy Kimmel kicked off, and arguing that he would sue Disney and ABC if they let him.
I actually agree with that. I actually agree with that.
So you agree with the statement that it should be quote unquote illegal to criticize him in the media?
I think if you go to any other country and you try to talk bad against the president, what do you think is going to happen to you?
Well, it depends on which country you go to. If you go to a country without free speech, you'll be prosecuted with a crime since it's illegal.
Yeah, so
right,
I think there should be.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're gonna vote,
yeah, right. Right, so I just want to clarify. So how could you? I want you to explain this. So does freedom of speech include the freedom to criticize your government?
I think there should be a certain extent. I really believe that because I in my honest opinion.
Then you don't believe in freedom of speech. Listen, man, if you're saying that you shouldn't be able to say things, even if they're true, right? You shouldn't be able to say things, right? Even if like they don't perpetuate harm, right? If you're gonna say that you shouldn't be able to say things, even if they're not misinformation, well, then you just simply don't believe.
Okay, look, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Here's the fine line here, because I know for sure you cannot say you agree with freedom of speech because everybody would agree that cyberbullying is wrong. Would you agree with that? Cyberbullying?
Yeah, it is.
Or would you say it's freedom of speech?
It's wrong because what?
But which one is it though? Because you can't be both.
I mean, listen
to
what I just said.
Though.
Even using like the precursory guidelines that I just set out in the moment of, I said if you're saying things right that should be illegal to say, even if they're true, not misinformation and harmful, right? Well, then it is the case that you don't actually believe in freedom of speech, right? And like those are like precursors. Those are guidelines that are like heavily debated, right? Maybe like you should be able to say some things that are like not exactly true. I mean, shit, I invite people up on my live to say things that are false at the time, right? Maybe you should be able to say some things legally speaking that are like harmful, right? And so on and so forth. But like generally speaking, what I can say, right, is if you're going to sit here and argue, right, that somebody should be thrown in jail for saying something that is true and doesn't generate harm to the innocent, well, then you definitely don't believe in freedom of speech. Like you're sitting here and you're telling me that it should be illegal for me to criticize the adjudicated rapist, 34 count felon that took healthcare away from 10 million people, right? Well, then you support tyranny, you support fascism, right? And you definitely don't support free speech, right? And if you don't think that free speech would include the right to say things that are true and not harmful, right? Well, then I just simply ask you, what do you think free speech even is?
Okay, could I ask you a question?
No, I want you to answer mine. What do you think free speech even is? And I'm going to write down your answer. Right? And what's going to happen is you're going to struggle finding a way to define free speech and tell us what you mean when you say free speech is important. That like
I'm not struggling to define
like
free speech.
Fairly
free speech is
and truly criticizing Donald Trump. So define free speech.
Yeah. Okay, so free is exactly what it is. Having the freedom to say whatever you want. That's what free speech is. So, here's my question to you.
Wait 1 second, because I just want to point out, like,
what
because
makes
we're yielding. 1 moment, we're yielding a contradiction in your view.
We're not yielding at all, man.
Yes.
I think you're yielding from my argument.
The contradiction that we're yielding in your view already.
You're dodging me, dude.
No, I'm not dodging you. You're dodging me. You're the one that said
Totally
you
dodging,
support
bro.
Trump because you think that freedom of speech is important, but you also support Trump arguing that it should be illegal to criticize him in the media. And then I add, you define free speech. You define free speech as saying having the freedom to say whatever you want. So let's just go ahead and switch out. Freedom of speech is important, and that's why you support Trump. But the definition of free speech is important. So in other words, you're arguing that you support Trump because you think having the freedom to say whatever you want is important. But in the same sense, you also support right not being able to have the freedom to say whatever you want because you agree with Trump when he says it should be illegal to criticize him in the media. That is an explicit contradiction.
Okay.
Don't pivot away from that contradiction.
When is cyberbullying wrong?
Yeah, I'll happily talk to you about cyberbullying as soon as you could address the contradiction present in your position.
This is the answer, dude, and you're avoiding it 100%. When is cyberbullying wrong? Tell me.
This isn't the answer, right? Because
I think you're scared to answer that question.
Premise argument that I gave you.
When is cyberbullying wrong? Tell me when.
If I could,
when does it become wrong?
If I could unilaterally demonstrate the irrelevance of your question to the argument that I gave you, then I could prove that I'm not scared. Okay, I could prove that I'm not running. I could prove that I'm not trying to answer. Right? So we're actually going to do that now. I'm going to prove that your question is unilaterally uninvolved, right, and irrelevant to the two premise argument I gave you to yield a contradiction with one of the reasons why you support Trump. Okay? Right? Premise number 1. Okay? Guest says, I support Donald Trump because freedom of speech is important. Premise number 2. Guest defines freedom of speech as having the freedom to do whatever you want. Premise number 3. Guest also agrees with Trump when he says that it should be illegal to criticize him in the media. Premise number 4. It being illegal to criticize the president in the media would be an infringement upon the freedom to say whatever you want. Conclusion. Guest is contradicting himself. Do you see how in that argument, cyberbullying doesn't come up anywhere? Do you see how in that argument, right, my thoughts on what free speech is or my importance that I would relegate towards it doesn't come up anywhere? Right? And do you see how in that argument, I'm like very clearly...
Okay, once again, when does cyberbullying become
from your view?
Wrong?
Oh, I don't need to answer that question because I just demonstrated
when does cyberbullying become wrong?
Oh, sir, I just demonstrated that question's irrelevance to my argument. I'm not going to answer it until you address it.
It goes exactly with it. If freedom of speech has nothing to do with cyberbullying is somebody having the freedom to say something about somebody to the point where it hurts that person, correct? Or is that right now?
Can you repeat that? Oh, so you're saying...
You're running from this with all your might, dude.
Oh, well, so I've already demonstrated how I'm not running by effectively affirming that your question has nothing to do with my argument. But maybe I think, like, I understand the relevance that you're trying to demonstrate. You're saying that, like, cyberbullying, like, when it fall within free speech, right? Like, cyberbullying is something that, like, should be prosecuted. Yeah, like, I agree. Like, there's many, like, scenarios...
When does cyberbullying become cyberbullying?
I think that there's, like, many, like, scenarios of cyberbullying that are incredibly wrong. The reason would be is that they could, like, generate, like, an immense level of harm. They could, like, lead individuals to, like, self-unaliving and so on and so forth, right? And
how can it lead individuals to self-unaliving?
One moment. Like, the way that we could, like, typically understand this is, like, the speech would generate, like, an immense level of harm.
How can it lead
bullying. Okay, sir, if I'm going to, like, respond to your question, you got to be able to let me to speak. Like, what are you doing?
You keep muting me, bro.
I know, because you're interrupting me. And then you unmute yourself, then you interrupt me again, then I mute you again, then you unmute yourself, then you interrupt me again. So now I'm, like, finally calling you out on it. Could you stop interrupting me?
Sure, if you let me talk, man. I mean, you don't let me talk at all.
Dude, I literally let you speak for 5 minutes. I was able to fill a page up with all the reasons why you support Trump. Never say that again.
So when does cyberbullying become cyberbullying?
Well, cyberbullying would always be cyberbullying, the same way red shoes would always be red shoes. Do you want to like try to like find another way to ask that question in a way that makes sense?
Is cyberbullying using a voice to speak?
Is cyberbullying using a voice to speak?
Yeah, are you speaking, texting online? What is cyberbullying? What's the definition of it? What are you doing? Are you like saying something bad about somebody online?
Cyberbullying would be bullying on the internet.
What does it look like?
No, I mean, what does it look like? Do you want me to give you an example?
Could it look like somebody going online and saying a bunch of bad jokes about somebody?
Like hopping into Discord and telling somebody to self-unalive because they're black. That's an example of like racist cyberbullying.
Okay, so cyberbullying is somebody gets online, they say mean things about a certain person, correct?
Yeah, there's like many scenarios where cyberbullying could be getting online and saying like incredibly like rude, mean things about a person that would like generate like a certain like level of harm, and like the rudeness or the mean things would be like unfounded.
Gotcha. So if I get online and I say, this guy's evil, he's dumb, he's a racist, he's that, is that cyberbullying or freedom of speech? How do you can tell the difference between the two? How do you know?
Well, so keep in mind that it would be cyberbullying in the sense if it was unfounded. I don't think it would be cyberbullying if it was founded. And is it free speech? I'm unclear of like where I think cyberbullying falls under free speech. I think like if it like can cause like an immense of like a high level of harm, right? Like that it should be like prosecuted. It should be criminalized. Like you shouldn't be able to like tell people to self-unalive. However, right, like if, like you're just on a platform, like bullying somebody, but not necessarily like leading them to like self-harm, unaliving, so on and so forth, right? Maybe you should be banned off the platform, but necessarily shouldn't be legally prosecuted. Now, could you please tell me how like this relates? Because like I've entertained you, right? I've entertained this tangent. Yeah. Now, can you please tell me how this tangent that I've entertained would relate to the argument that I was able to effectively demonstrate you'd have a contradiction within your view, that contradiction being the fact that you said you support Trump because you think freedom of speech is important, yet you also support Trump when he says it should be illegal to criticize him in the media. And then I had you define freedom of speech. You said having the freedom to say whatever you want, but obviously making it illegal to criticize the government or the president of the government would be infringing on that freedom to say whatever you want. So from your perspective, right, with your definition of free speech, right, you're yielding a contradiction.
Yeah, I don't completely agree with. I think there should be limits to freedom of speech. Just like that's why there's a law against cyberbullying. There is a limit to freedom of speech.
Why should one of those limits be criticizing the president?
The limit should be anything. It should be, for example, if I criticize anybody.
You shouldn't be able to criticize anybody. So you think that you should go to jail if you call Hitler evil on like Twitter?
Okay.
So okay, yeah. Shut up. See, I was like, yeah, you should.
Wait, what?
You should go to jail for calling Hitler evil on Twitter.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, but obviously that's a critique of Hitler. So therefore, like, you don't think it should always be like illegal to criticize people with your speech. So like, what are the lines? Like, when should it become illegal to criticize people with your speech?
Just like the cyberbullying comes to play. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you say something evil about somebody.
But listen, not all like critique is cyberbullying. You know, like I critique Donald Trump every day by like calling him an evil rapist, right? That's not cyberbullying because it's true.
Okay, look, have you ever done anything wrong in your life?
Yes, I've done many things wrong in my life, but I don't think the things that I have done that are wrong would amount to rape.
Okay, well, what if you stole something, right? Or you slept with the guy's girlfriend or cheated on your girlfriend, okay? And then from that point on, every time I pertain to your name, I'm like, hey, guys, the cheating liar Dean. Hey, here's the cheating liar Dean. Here's the cheating liar Dean. Would you say like, hey, dude, can you mature a little bit? Would you consider that cyberbullying or kind of immature? Or how would you refer to that? Just that alone in immaturity. Hey, here's a cheater liar Dean. Hey guys, here's a cheater liar Dean.
What I can say, right, is like if I rape somebody, right, and then you for the rest of your life, every time you saw me on the internet, said, "Hey, Dean is a rapist," right? I'd actually say that you're doing something good, right, because like you're fighting for the better health and well-being of like the community and those around me by like just like reaffirming the fact that I'd be a goddamn threat in that hypothetical world, right?
Okay, but once again, I mean, it's you're going off of things.
Yeah. Jonathan, do you have a second account? You just got a flag. Funny enough, talking about free speech. So I just got a flag from TikTok that said, you're apparently making my audience uncomfortable, and I have a restriction unless I remove you from the live. Jonathan, if you come back on a second account, I would love to address your other 14 points, because I don't want to just write them down for nothing. So it'd be really fun to address them. Yeah, look at the flag on the live. It says, please avoid promoting negative stereotypes and generalizations about other groups of people. That's from Jonathan. I wonder what he said. Maybe it had to do with like trans people, the LGBTQ plus community. Maybe that's what got flagged. Jonathan, feel free to hop back on the queue on another account. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump? Nope, they're not here. Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the box. By the way, if you're watching and you want to support me, feel free to support me over Venmo and PayPal, which you could find in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. You could also find it in the pinned message of the YouTube stream. I would really like to continue that conversation with Jonathan, so I could also stomp on him, right? Like with all the other points that I made. There'd be a lot of fun, right? Because Jonathan wasn't that smart of a guy and his points were very bad, and I could very effectively dismantle them all. So I really hope that Jonathan finds a way to come back. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I actually do not.
Okay, base. Well, we are just looking for Trump supporters, but you do have a good rest of your day. We're going to move on to the next guest right now, folks. Dude, why is this guy back? John, what the hell do you want?
I just came back to say that your dogs, these dogs that you've sicked on me, they're leaving comments, they're sending me messages, they're threatening me. You need to tell these people to stop.
Okay.
Tell them to stop.
Wait, you call them dogs? No, don't fucking call people dogs. I'm sorry, I didn't even catch that. Whoa. Why are you calling people dogs? I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe you could just like witness and watch, right? How like I just process like in real time that you're calling people dogs. Sir, John, okay, so last time you were up here, we were having a conversation about if you're like stupid or not stupid, right? And I think maybe a big issue that you have is not thinking before you speak. Think about it this way. All right.
Excuse me?
No, seriously, listen to me, man. Hear me out, John.
Listen to you? Who are you? Who are you going to say something like that to me? I'm educated. I have a career. You can't say I don't know how to.
Calm down, John. Think about it, okay? Right now, you're in front of an audience of 17,000 people on TikTok and 5.6 thousand people on YouTube, okay? Right? And last time you were up here, right, you got like a couple people, 70 people, to go to your most recent post and like maybe comment something like, oh, boo, John, you suck. Which, by the way, I disincentivize. If you're watching on TikTok, I don't want y'all to go to the comment sections of any of my guests and like spam them, okay? Right? I just don't want y'all to do that, okay? It disincentivizes people from joining. But matter of fact, people still did. That's the internet. I could only tell people not to do it. Some people inevitably still will. But like, who in their right mind would then think it's a smart move to rejoin that same live in front of that same crowd of like 23,000 people, right? And call everybody a fucking dog and bring up the fact that they're leaving mean comments on your videos, demonstrating that it's really getting to you. Obviously, that is only going to cause more mean comments on your videos, John.
You need to get a control of these psychos. They are dogs,
dude.
They are dogs.
This is
oh my god, bro. They're leaving crazy comments and they're messaging me almost near death threats.
Yes, listen, I don't support that at all. Like, listen, if you're watching, right, I don't want you guys to like go leave messages on John's video, but let's actually just read them off. Let's see how crazy they are. So somebody says, hey, John, I'm a full-time med tech taking care of an elderly making $18 an hour with a 1-year-old daughter, and I have food stamps. I don't think I'm lazy when your government has high expectations but isn't giving me the tools to succeed. How do I not rely on the government for SNAP when I'm not even making a livable wage in the economy they have created? Is that like one of the mean comments? Because that's the top one.
Well, she could be doing better. She could. I didn't come up here to have a debate. I just tell your people to stop leaving comments.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
So do we need people to take care of the elderly?
Like I said, I didn't come up here to have a conversation.
Do we need people to take care of the elderly, John?
Yes, there are people that do that. They're professionals.
No. Do we need people to do that?
Not really. I mean, there's no mandate to say you have to take care of the elderly. No.
So what would happen if we didn't have any people to do that? What would happen to the elderly that can't take care of themselves?
What happened to the elderly 5,000 years ago?
Well, they died at 34 on average. That's what happened.
That's life. You die.
What would you rather people die at 34 years old on average or like 84 years old on average?
Well, ideally, it'd be nice if we can live long, healthy lives.
Okay, so therefore, like, you think it's like a good thing for like some people to help in like taking care of like elderly, right? Because like it extends lifespans and help keep people alive. So then, when you're looking at somebody that does that, right, which you deem as like an essential role to like extend lifespans and create a better society, and you said that they could do better, right? Well, like in that breath, you're contradicting yourself because you just reaffirmed, right, that we need a certain portion of society to take care of elderly in order to produce the best possible society.
Yeah, but if she's complaining about her life and saying that she needs food stamps, maybe she needs to find a job that pays her better instead of relying on the government to feed not only
the only person that needs to find anything here.
She's relying on the government to feed not only her but her child. That's insane.
The only person here that needs to find anything would be you finding a brain.
That's you. And I didn't come up here to debate.
No,
Tell
that's
your
you.
people to leave
How
me
about
alone.
why don't you stop relying on public roadways, John? That's insane.
Everybody use public roadways.
Well, so then everybody's relying on the government. That's even worse.
No.
Wait, why? Everyone's relying on the government. That's insane, John. It's insane. Everyone's relying on the government.
Pathetic. You're pitiful.
I know. I'm having
You're
You know what, John? Yes, it is pathetic, right, to whine and scream and moan and cry about people having some level of reliance on the government of a society. Thank you for the concession, John. We're finally breaking ground here.
Unacceptable. You're the worst person to have a platform. Literally. These people don't know who you actually are. You're a monster. You know that. You know that. Yes, you know that. You know that. In 10 years, you'll be a Republican. I know it.
Well, if I'm a monster, then certainly. Wait, call me a monster again?
You are a monster.
Do you do it again?
No, because you're going to play something stupid.
Do it again?
You're stupid.
Oh, wait. Wait, what am I? What am I, John?
You're unintelligent.
What was that? Couldn't hear you.
You're a leech.
What?
You're a leech.
I couldn't hear you.
Like I said.
Oh, now I hear you, John.
I just need you to.
Oh, John, I hear you loud and clear. Oh, I hear you loud and clear, John.
Just tell your people to leave me alone, okay? That's what I'm asking. Can you say that?
John, listen. Yeah, I'll tell them. I'll incentivize. I'll ask the audience to stay out of your comment section. Okay, I can do that, John. I can do that.
Thank you. Now, have a great night, okay?
Before you leave, right? Why aren't you freaking out about this existential crisis of everybody relying on the government for free public roadways, paid for by the taxpayer?
It's universal. What do you not understand? Are you lacking like critical thinking skills?
From
I think that's
from
what
your
you
perspective, wouldn't that make it worse since there's more people that have this reliance?
No, it's not. No, Dean. No.
Why not?
It's a universal thing. Actually,
which makes more people relying on it. Wouldn't that be worse?
Actually, yeah, you could say that. You could say you shouldn't really rely on the government for anything.
Okay. So you just said yes. It is fair to say that it's worse since it's universal. Therefore, you having access to public roadways is worse than single mothers of 5 having access to food stamps.
No, not even.
Wait. Why would it be worse since it's universal?
Not even close.
But it's universal, John. You said it yourself.
These people are entitled.
Wait. But this whole time you've been arguing that you have some type of entitlement to public roadways.
We all do.
Oh, you're entitled. This person's entitled. These people are so entitled. This person right here is so entitled.
It's not the government's responsibility.
You are so entitled.
You need to feed yourself.
John, listen, I think that you need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and find another way to get around outside of public roadways, you entitled wokey. You wokey. You're such a woke Republican with all these entitlements.
And you're a leech.
You're a leech because you feel entitled to these public benefits.
Are you going to give them their money back? You're going to give them are you going to return the money that
John,
you've leached off the people?
Last time you started talking about the money, it caused more people to donate. Just stop talking about it now. Good boy.
What did you just say?
I called you good boy because you listened.
Who do you think you are?
Dean Withers.
You're nobody.
Okay, John.
You're nobody.
All right.
You're no talent. You're an a-hole, actually. You don't have a degree. You don't have an organization. You're nobody.
Go up and seethe, John.
Well, thanks. Thank you. Bye.
have. I have such a fun time some of these days. Just bullying the fuck out of Yo, Ray! Thank you so much for the diamond gun. I appreciate you for that love. Thank you, Ray. What's going on, Parker?
That was amazing. That guy was such a leech, relying and feeling so entitled to public roadways. What a ridiculous guy.
I know, right? So fucking ridiculous. No, he was already up here before. He's an angry little man.
He should just pull himself up by his bootstraps and provide his own public roadways.
That's what I was saying. But how you doing, Park? You want to come up here and coast, or were you in the queue to talk to that last guy, but then he left?
Shit, sorry, my phone just stopped working. I'm here to coast, actually, for a little bit.
Oh, bro, fucking sick. Let's do it. Go ahead and hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. There's a couple people here that I'd like to thank. Before we do, let's go ahead and welcome in this next guest. What is up, Trump 2024? Are you MAGA?
Of course I am, 100%.
Cool. Oh, guys, also, we hit 4.7 million followers. Fuck yeah. Dude, hell yeah. Can we get some W's in the chat for that? We are like insanely close to 5 million. That's going to be a crazy day. Let's go.
Well, you're wasting people's money. I hope you know that, buddy.
What do you mean?
Let me tell you why. Look,
dude,
you come on here. You support Kamala.
Wait, whoa! Stop talking about that.
You support Kamala Harris. You can call her Kamala. It's tomato. Okay?
Oh no, is this Phil Jr.? Yo, Phil Jr. Can you say Kamala, please, or VP Harris? That'd be great.
Okay, fine. Former VP Harris and J.D. Vance, one of the greatest vice presidents known to man. He's worked on our border. He's worked with President Trump on every single issue, from bringing Christian, bringing Christian content to our schools. We need, look, Dean and Parker.
Are you trying to indoctrinate children with your Christian views?
Well, can I tell you why? Look,
did you like how Oklahoma put the Bible back in the classroom?
Yes, 100%.
Did you know that Oklahoma is ranked 50th in education?
Hey, Dean, do you know if it what Dean?
Can you respond to that? If putting the Bible back in the classroom back in the classroom is so good for students, then why is Oklahoma ranked 50th in education?
Other schools did.
Like other states? You mean what states?
Dean, I think we're going off topic. Let's just start on. Should we start on religion first, and then we can look, Dean? If it wasn't,
dude,
Dean,
you guys are dude. Listen, you guys are just so easy to box.
Wait.
Right?
Hey, why are you laughing?
Just because it takes 2 sentences to prove you motherfuckers wrong.
So you're lying. You're laughing at Jesus Christ, who's made you. Are you freaking serious? If it wasn't for Jesus Christ, you wouldn't be here anymore.
I'm not laughing at Jesus Christ. I'm laughing at your idiocy.
So why?
And honestly, I don't think that was his fault. I think it's yours.
Parker, do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Yeah, he's my Lord and Savior.
Okay, so why wouldn't you want your Lord and Savior in your school, the one who created you, the one who made this plan, he made the trees, he made the clouds, he made every single thing. Why wouldn't you want your Savior in your school?
You want me to explain why? Because I don't want to.
Listen here. Hey, guess what? You want to know who made us? God made us. You know who created everything we have right now? God did. If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't be here. And I'm sure your supporters, your crazy radical supporters, and they're gonna of course disagree with me, but they know that Jesus is God.
If I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my parents.
Well, guess what?
My parents should be taught about in school.
But I have a question.
Teach about my dad and my mom in school.
But guess what?
Because if they specifically were not there, I would not be here.
But God created humans. You don't get it. It was God who.
My parents created me. God didn't choose to create me because that was their free will.
But God took part in your birth. God was the one there for your family. God's there for everyone.
There's not free will?
But listen here, the 10 Commandments, whether you're religious or not, you got to follow the 10 Commandments. That's how life works. And Dean Withers here doesn't follow the 10 Commandments.
Hold up. Can you name 3 of the 10 Commandments?
Absolutely, dude. 100%. I am the Lord by God. That shall not, unalive. That shall not commit adultery. That not shall steal. There we go. I named.
Donald Trump has done all 3 of those things.
And guess what? Want to know about that? Is that in the Bible it says to forgive everybody no matter what they did. Hope you know that, buddy.
Would you forgive?
Really?
And Dean over here.
Would you wait? Do you forgive Hitler? Okay. Yeah, while you're thinking about that, Camp, thank you so much for the
Well,
$10
guess what?
over on Super
Guess
Chat.
what?
One second, Phil. I gotta thank a couple people. Camp with the $10 on Super Chat says, why do all the MAGA Christians sound like alpha betas from Revenge of the Nerds? Pretty sure God doesn't approve of the frat bro bullshit. That's pretty funny. Also, thank you so much, Fam Cam, with the $20. Thank you so much for the love, Fam Cam. Show some love to Fam down below in that comment section for the $20. Thank you so much. As well as Maddie. Thank you so much for the $20 as well. Excuse me. Who says, my entitled self just bought $1,000 worth of food to a food bank because entitled Trump supporters are cutting food stamps for less fortunate hungry people. Hungry people and children deserve to eat. Yes, absolutely, Maddie, and good for fucking you. Thank you so much for supporting your local community. I'd also very quickly like to thank, let's see here, Philibus Gaming for the $20 who says John came back to the live just because his feelings got hurt. Bro, yeah, we hurt John's feelings again. Unfortunately, we hurt him again and he ran away. Thank you for the love. Thank you, everyone, so much. There's a couple other people I'd like to thank here, too. Thank you so much, Kathy, for the $50 over on PayPal. Holy shit, Kathy. I want to see 500 Kathy W's. Kathy says sending another $50 because John came back. Appreciate you for that love. And Leslie with a $25 as well, saying just for John. Let's go. Dennis with a $10 saying you're a monster. John with a $5 so I could continue to be a monster. And then Kathy with another $50 just saying thank you for all that you do. You are amazing. God damn it.
Hey.
Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you, Kathy.
Hey,
Let's
Dean.
get 100 Kathy W's down below. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you for your kindness. Huge shout out to Kathy down below in that comment section. And then Gabby, thank you for the 10, and Carla with the $10 as well. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And then
You talk about
Venmo. Well, one moment, sir. Shantae, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying happily, quote unquote, wasting my money on a quote unquote nobody. Thank you so much, Shantae. And then Shannon, thank you for the $25, who says my 4-year-old kid is laughing so hard, MAGA crybaby crying. Dude, John was fucking crying. Thank you for the $25. And then Vera with the $3, Nicho. Thank you for the $10 saying, oh no, John made me tip. And then Bryson, thank you for the $10. And Camilla, thank you so much for the $20 saying, correction to a monster from Camilla. Thank you so much for the $20. And then Jacqueline, thank you for the $25. Dude, you guys are being so like fucking kind today. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Jacqueline with the $25 says, in my teens and early 20s, I took care of 3 kids that weren't mine. And let's go ahead and load up the rest of her message here. And of course, it went away. Jacqueline, I'm going to try to get your message pulled up here on my computer. Thank you so much for the love. Go ahead and take it away, Phil.
I don't know why you're calling me Phil, but okay, whatever. All right. So what I was gonna say is I was talking about Jesus Christ, and you know, Dean, it hurts me a lot that this country has become a non-religious country. You know, people are trying to indoctrinate kids with woke ideology. Look, if Jesus came back right now, he would be disappointed in all of these liberals taking our country away and taking away our Christian nationality. You need to stop, Dean. You need to stop your anti-Christian agenda, like you and Kamala, you and Biden, all their anti-Christian stuff. They held an LGBTQ rally at the White House. That is disgusting. This is anti-Christ right there, Dean. And you're talking.
Oh my God.
Dean,
1 second. I'm going to let you say your bullshit and I'll respond to your bullshit. But before I do respond to your bullshit, I have somebody to thank. Holy shit. Dude, David.
No, because I'm angry because you guys are disrespecting Jesus Christ. Like, you are actually sad. You are.
Just calm down, Piss Week. Give me a second here. Fucking David! Thank you so much for the $500 donation on Venmo.
W. David.
Oh my God. Dude, David, I do not deserve that. I'm just going to be honest. Thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. It's not something I deserve. And thank you. All the love in the world to you. David with the $500 says, you're the effing bomb. Go ahead and quote unquote waste this money, lol. John is a tool. Motherfucker. David, thank you so much for your kindness. I want to see a flood of David W's in the live in the live streams while we're listening to this guy regurgitate the same old tired bullshit MAGA talking points. Thank you so much, man. I'm gonna go ahead and also send you a private message. Just thank you so much, David. Go ahead. Let's hear the rest of your bullshit. Thank you so much, David. Show some love to David in that chat.
All right. And what I was gonna say is that you talk about Trump being on, Epstein's island and all of that. Guess what? You were around Harry Sisson. You want to talk about that? Now you're mad now, Dean. I got you there. Harry Sisson over here was talking about inappropriate things that I'm not going to get into this live stream. I'm sure you already addressed that. So before you talk about Trump being around PDFs, look at yourself, dude. Before you call Trump a narcissist, look at yourself, because, buddy, you don't have a really good track record, and you are calling me names. But guess what, Dean? You are around the same people who you're going against. You're such a hypocrite. Why don't we talk about Parker? Parker, you were with Harry Sisson. Want to talk about Harry Sisson? I'm sure you guys don't want to.
Did you just compare Harry Sisson to a PDF?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. As soon as he was done talking, that's what I was gonna say.
Crazy.
Yeah, like me and Parker, like we could agree that like what Harry did was wrong, right? But like in no way, in no imaginable world is what Harry did comparable to a PDF. In no imaginable world.
I seen the screenshot. Stop trying to lie in front of 16,000 people, Dean. Say the truth. Jesus.
What screenshots are comparable to Trump, like a PDF? I'm confused.
And you guys are talking about...
I mean, I'm so sorry. If you're going to criticize Harry, just make sure that you're doing so accurately, right?
Look at
every individual, every
individual
and every screenshot that you've seen was an adult, right? Like, I just want to make that clear, okay? Like, you can't just baselessly throw that word around.
Look at Serenity Down Politics. She sent me the screenshot. She sent me everything, and I can post that everywhere if you want. I can expose how you were around PDFs. So stop trying to be a stupid hypocrite.
Wait. If you're saying that there's like PDF allegations for Harry that like me that I don't know about, that Parker doesn't know about, I'm gonna fucking hold you to it. You need to prove this right now.
Look, Parker.
No, like I'm being serious. That is not something that you just throw around.
I heard that he was saying inappropriate things, and he was ditching girls and being a hooligan.
Okay, how is this comparable to a PDF?
Right, exactly.
Like the sex trafficking of Epstein?
So sure, like Harry Sisson was saying inappropriate things. Harry Sisson was like texting like multiple women at once and telling some of them that he's only talking to them. But they were adults. That's not being a PDF, okay? Being a PDF has a very specific meaning, right? And it's so totally inappropriate for you to water that down, okay? Because the moment when you like equate, right, like talking to multiple like adult women at the same time, right, to being a P3DO, right, is the moment where you make being a P3DO, right, not as bad as what it should be to mean to be a P3DO, right? You can't blur the lines on P3Dophilia, right? Just to accuse somebody that you don't like of being one. Because like point number one, right? Like that's just so wildly inappropriate to do to somebody, right? That's not one. And point number two, that's so wildly inappropriate, right, to the victims of P3DOs because it waters down what it means to be a P3DO and how bad it is.
Wait, so can I ask you this?
Can you concede? Can you agree? Can you agree that it is wildly, like absurdly, wildly inappropriate, right, to call Harry Sisson a P3DO, and that is liable. And
but you guys call Trump. You guys call Trump a PDO.
Would be well within your right. He would be well within his right to like pursue legal action against you for doing so. And by the way, you can't bring that up on TikTok. It'll get the live stream taken down. But anyways, to vaguely respond to that, it's because we have reason, okay? So what is your reason to believe that Harry Sisson is a P3DO?
Okay, I concede to that. I know that I did go too far on that. But I will tell you... And you guys are going way too far on Trump. You guys are lying on Trump's name.
That is wildly inappropriate.
Why are you lying on Trump's name and calling him a PDF? You won't answer the question, huh?
So I've already told you once. You can't say that phrase on TikTok.
Sorry.
But we have an admission of guilt, right? That he sexually exploited naked girls and/or.
No, he didn't. Stop being with this lies.
Would you like to hear it?
It's defamation right there.
Wait, I'm just playing.
You and Kamala.
He said.
You and Kamala.
Can I just play you the clip of what he said?
Sure.
There's a crying baby. That's from John. Let's just go on and play the clip. Okay.
Kamala pitted millions in
Kamala
jail.
is how you pronounce your name. Okay, yeah, nice bit. Let's go ahead and take a look.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Okay. Well, that was look. In the Bible, it says to forgive everybody. So I forgive Trump if he did do that, because in the Bible it says to forgive everybody, and I'm following what Jesus Christ said.
I have a question. Do you forgive Epstein?
I mean, it depends. I mean, if he came and realized and he apologized.
Depends on what?
You gotta. I'm following the Bible. It doesn't matter what you think. You gotta follow strictly what the Bible says, and I'm following what the Bible says.
Okay, so I have a question. In 1 Samuel 15:3, God commands Saul and his men to slaughter the men, women, children, and infants of Amalek. If you were one of Saul's men, would you have slaughtered the men, women, and children and infants of Amalek?
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I mean, it depends. I mean, it's what Jesus says. I gotta follow his orders. He's our king. He's our savior. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. And little Parker Antichrist over here wants Kamala Harris in office, who wants men and women's sports.
If Jesus told you to kiss a man, would you do it?
He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't.
Wait, so you think Jesus is more likely to tell you to genocide babies than to kiss a man?
So now you're lying on. Don't ever say that. This is really disrespectful. You better apologize. You better apologize.
15:3, I told you the verse, buddy.
You better apologize, Dean, for what you just said. You gotta apologize.
But wasn't that the reduction of the position? Because Parker asked you, like, God told you to, like, slaughter men, women, and children. Would you do it? Then you're like, well, I have to do it if it's what he says. Then I'm like, so if God told you to kiss a man, would you do it? Then you're like,
he wouldn't say never that. Do that. Stop making up stuff.
So why are you making? Why didn't you say, quote unquote, he would never say that in response to Parker asking you?
Because
kill babies if God.
Because God said
so you think it's more realistic to assume that God would tell you to kill babies?
No.
To tell you that
can I
kiss
speak?
Another man?
Can I speak? God also had sins. The reason why he died was for our sins.
You're a heretic. You said God has sins. No, God would be perfect.
He's not. He isn't completely perfect. He
Psalms literally says God is perfect.
Well, I mean, he is perfect to us because he made us, Dean. If it wasn't for God, you wouldn't be on this live stream exactly talking to me right now. Stop with your Antichrist.
No. It's not that he's perfect for us. It's that regardless of us, he's perfect.
Well, yes,
right?
He is perfect.
Do you think that God was imperfect prior to creation?
No,
right.
I don't think so.
Right. So it's not he's perfect to us. He's perfect regardless of us. So
I mean,
because he's perfect, God can't sin.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so
he died for our sins. He died from our sins.
Why am I up here, right, like educating you on Christian theology?
You're not educating me because you want an Antichrist Kamala in office. You want lying Kamala Harris, the DEI hire that pit in
DEI.
Tomato.
Hey, question.
Kamala.
Why would the quote unquote unqualified DEI candidate be a significantly better leader and president than Mr. Trump? What does this tell us about him and his qualifications? Considering the fact,
I'll tell you why.
That it's not the DEI candidate, right? That's violating a court order and refusing to feed 42 million Americans.
Hey, guess
it's
what?
not the DEI candidate, right? That took healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans.
Guess
it's not the DEI candidate, right? That made a trade agreement with Canada, violated it by imposing tariffs, repealed the tariffs, reimposed the tariffs, repealed the tariffs, and ended negotiations, right? It's not the DEI candidate that's gone 23 countries around the world to end negotiation with us and to stop all small parcel shipment into America. It's not the DEI candidate, right, that had like 5 attempts at peace dealings with Russia fall through, and then to lead to Russia to drop their biggest and most bombs yet on Ukraine, even though he said he could end their invasion of Ukraine on D1. It's not the DEI candidate that made the promise to drop the prices of groceries so fast on day one your head would spin, and now we're 10 months into his term and the price of groceries has only gone up. It's not the DEI candidate that's already crashed our stock market 3 times, right? And because of his terrible policy, reduced our GDP in the first quarter of this year. It's not the DEI candidate who's literally so fucking terrible for this country. They onset a wave of political opposition, leading Blue to like win coast to coast, literally last night, in cities like New York City, states like California, New Jersey, Virginia, Georgia, Mississippi, so on and so forth. Right? So it's just funny because when you say that she's the DI qualified, she's the underqualified one, well, this just tells us that Donald Trump is somehow even worse, right? So that makes him a very unappealing and unattractive option.
So you're talking about how Trump go against court orders. You know, when Kamala Harris was DA attorney,
you literally just pronounced her name right and then corrected yourself to pronounce it wrong.
It's the same thing, dude. Calm down.
Are you telling me that Republicans are so fucking stupid they can't pronounce words?
Well, why can I not call her Kamala? Is there a problem there?
Yeah, because I'm just trying to get you to I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get
freedom of speech. Right. Freedom. You call Trump nickname, so I can call Kamala nickname.
Freedom of speech. If you like freedom of speech, then you want to support Trump, considering the fact that he said he's taking it away.
No, wait, Dean. Look, you're saying that Trump goes against court orders. You know, when Kamala was DA attorney, she had evidence that would release men out of jail, and she didn't do that. She kept them in jail. You know that, right?
Which men?
She had evidence to release. Tulsi Gabbard said that back in 2019 at the Democratic primaries. I can play the clip right now. There's evidence that show that Kamala.
Yeah, what men?
Probably it was women too. But look at Tulsi Gabbard.
What were the names of the people that she withheld evidence from?
Let me look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you heard it, but she had evidence that.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking you to prove it.
Tulsi Gabbard.
No, I don't want to hear Tulsi Gabbard say it. I want evidence that what Tulsi Gabbard is saying is true.
Hold up. I don't want to. I'm not going to check in CNN because that's fake news. So let me find Fox. Let's see.
Well, he's looking for that. Sin, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. That is CYN. Sin with the $20 says, "Hey Dean, can you stop playing that?
Why?
I'm going to mute you." Sin with the $20 says, "Hey Dean, thank you as always for dealing with these people. Don't forget to hydrate." You know, thank you for reminding me, Sin. I do need to take a drink of water. Thank you for the $20. I want to see 200 Sin W's down below. And once again, I don't want to hear Tulsi Gabbard say it. I want to see evidence that she's telling the truth.
Oh, they do. But Harris's prosecutorial history is long and complicated.
Let me find it. I'm trying to find the post.
Is involving violent crimes.
Okay, well, I can't find that clip, but like, she's a liar. Just so you know, like, someone at her rally was saying, Jesus is king.
We're not gonna have a pivot. We're not gonna have a pivot.
And she was wait, and then she was saying, you're at the wrong rally. Did you see that clip? When she said you're at the wrong rally.
Buddy, we're gonna go one topic at once. I asked you for evidence that she withheld evidence and freed innocent people in prison.
Well, I can't find that clip.
So then concede the claim. Say that you were wrong.
I don't have the evidence at this moment.
Okay, then concede.
Okay, fine.
Say I concede. John, thank you for the Viking hammer.
Why are you so rude?
You've been a real piece of work. You've been a real tool this whole time.
Oh, right? You're calling me a piece of...
Yes.
Hey, Dean, what?
Right, you've been a real tool this whole time. Right, of course I'm not going to be too patient or too gracious with you. Concede the goddamn claim because you had no evidence for it.
Okay, I concede.
Good boy. What's next?
But Dean, I have a question. Do you believe that every child that Jesus Christ created should have the right to live? Answer my question.
Well, it depends on how you define child. If you define child to include fetuses, then no, because I know that's where you're going with this.
Dean, do you know what fetus mean in Latin? I'm sure you do know.
You're a troll. You're a troll. You're a troll.
No, you're laughing because you know Charlie Kirk mogs you. He cooks you.
You said that Charlie mogs me?
Yes. He was way better than you because he was a pro-Christian.
Sir,
pro-Christian. But he was Christian.
Well, debatable.
He was pro-Christian. Don't you dare say that, Dean. Don't you ever say that in your life, dude. You better apologize right now.
Okay.
Like, why are you making fun of him, dude? That's not cool.
How am I making fun of Charlie?
Well, it's because he's more Christian than you. Like, I prefer a Christian.
Well, he's not more Christian than me, and I.
Well, you're not Christian. You're an
I-
antichrist.
I don't mean to say this to like make a joke or be funny. I'm really not, right? But he's not more Christian than me, and the reason would be is that he's dead.
He's an at least he's in God's hands now. He's in God's hands right now.
Okay.
And he's looking down. He's looking down and just looking how can you be this antichrist? Do you know? Like, you're such an antichrist. You voted for an antichrist candidate, Kamala, who didn't even do nothing as vice president. She was pro-choice. Like, I support, abortion in certain cases, but every child has a right to live. And me and you both know that. You just don't want to concede because you want to make millions of dollars from your supporters. You talk about taxing millionaires, dude. You just made an $800 donation from a person like 30 minutes ago. Then you made a 50, then you made a 30. Dude, stop being a hypocrite. Let's see your tax returns. Oh, you're scared. You're scared to show us that you pay taxes. Oh my God, Dean. Oh my God. Yeah, keep laughing. Yeah.
Hey, dude, are you really disputing right now that Dean pays taxes?
He doesn't. He has tax breaks.
Let me ask you a question. Why doesn't the Trump administration IRS go after Dean then?
Why is this guy so crazy?
It's because Biden, I'm pretty sure when Biden was in office, he gave you tax breaks because I know you knew Biden really well. You knew
Donald Trump's tax plan. Are you trolling, man? You sound like you're trolling.
I'm not trolling.
Think Joe Biden was giving tax breaks to specifically Dean Withers?
Well, Dean worked for the DNC.
Okay, what evidence do you have for that?
Wait, I literally had the chairman of the DNC up yesterday, and I specifically asked him if they give me any money, and he said no.
Well, Ken Martin doesn't know a thing. He's like brainless.
Ken Martin, I gotta say, he's aight. He's aight. I honestly, I expected worse from him. Right? Obviously, I don't agree with him on everything. I don't agree with the Democrats on everything, but I gotta say,
so what do you? Okay,
Ken Martin, step in the right direction compared to
so if you don't agree with the
other Democrat leaders.
So if you don't agree with the Republicans on the Democrats on everything, what do you agree with the Republicans on? I want to hear your take. What's the one thing you will agree with the Republicans on? You're not talking. What's one thing? Answer my question. Well, okay. Well, keep thinking, dude. Try to find some brain cells up there with your liberal self. Piece of work.
Know, Parker, can you think of anything you agree with the Republicans on?
I'm talking about like Ronald Reagan. one of the best.
Dean, to be honest with you, maybe like we agree with them to some degree on like how like some level of Social Security should exist, some level of Medicaid should exist, some level of Medicare should exist, some level of SNAP should exist. But obviously, we're not going to agree to the extent on any of these positions. So, nothing like as I agree with as 100%, but up to some degree, we agree, of course, with Republicans. One thing that I always say Republicans should run on, and realistically, they're idiots for not doing that, is specifically just cutting taxes for working class people, which is something Democrats already agree with, but they don't really give a shit about that, else they would actually support it because it's literally a bipartisan thing.
Ronald Reagan
Actually, I was very happy with the Republican yesterday. Very happy with the Republican.
Who?
Curtis fucking Sliwa. All right.
Oh, I love that dude.
All right, listen. Curtis fucking Sliwa was told by all Republicans to drop out of the race. Curtis fucking Sliwa was told by the GOP to drop out of the race. Curtis fucking Sliwa was told by President Trump to drop out of the race.
Oh, let's go. He's your president.
And he didn't.
President Trump.
And he didn't. And he didn't drop out. Okay? Right? Just further ensuring the Zohar
the Minister
Mamdani
of
way.
Parades in New York City.
Yeah.
The Minister of Parades.
Yeah. No, yesterday I agreed with a Republican on something.
Dean, oh my God. I'm so proud of you. You said President Trump?
Yeah,
Trump's
Why is that so crazy to you? We actually acknowledge democratic election results, unlike you guys from 2020.
Thank you. Well, 2020 had some problems, let's just say, but I don't want to get.
So wait, why could they steal it in 2020, but they couldn't steal it in 2024?
That's because we had President Trump and his investigators. Look, they looked into the election results, and the Democrats knew that if they tried to do something this time,
did they do that in 2020 as well?
Dean, look, I may be a Trump supporter, but I'm not that. Parker. Okay, look. I'm MAGA, but I'm not like, I don't think it was rigged. I think it had like some problems in it because of COVID. And I think the mail-in ballots, I think some mail-in ballots was thrown out.
What year were you born in?
I already said, didn't I already say my age?
What year were you born in?
I was born in 2006.
Making you how old?
18.
I don't believe you. You're acting like a small child, so I'm gonna kick you. Oh man, that guy was exhausting. He was like a little chihuahua.
I feel like he was trolling. Like his positions just seemed so ridiculous that it seemed like he was trolling, or at least rage baiting to some degree.
Very just like loud and barky. Very loud. I don't know. He was too much. He was too much for me. What's up, Compton? Do you support Trump?
No. Actually, I was coming on to ask the other guy questions to kind of sort of join the side of common sense.
Well, I appreciate you so much for coming up, man. We are just looking to talk to people that are Trump supporters, but I do hope that you have a great rest of your day, man. Show some love to base guests down below in that comment section. We're going to go to get that next Trump supporter loaded in right now for the 17.5 thousand people hanging out with us over on TikTok and the 5.6 thousand people hanging out with us on YouTube. By the way, god damn! I don't know if I've ever had 5.6K people.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Near 6K on YouTube is crazy.
Yeah, that's a first. That's a first, man. Right? I tried a new thumbnail. The thumbnail says, quote unquote, woke is back.
No, I saw that.
Yeah.
I should do the same thing and see if it works.
Yeah, woke is back, motherfucker. What's up, Julia? Do you support Trump? Julia, I could barely hear you. I don't even know what you said. I know that you said something there because of the like 0.05 decibels that we're able to go through. But, I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Just got to kick you for that reason. Moving on to the next guest at this point while we're getting the next guest loaded up in. Thank you so much for the 20 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat. Cornell, who says this guy's an example of MAGA using religion as an excuse not to think. Yes. Deadass Cornell. As well as Morgan, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, calling the guest a child. Jonesy with a 5, Tess with a 5, Jonesy with another 5, and Melissa with a $5 saying I have a lot of patience. Well, thank you, Melissa. It's certainly been a skill that I've had to build. I'd also like to thank Coral for the $20 on Venmo, who says, thanks, Dean, for not using kid gloves on these lunatic MAGA fake Christians. It's weird that their whole personality revolves around Trump. Yeah, it is fucking weird, Coral. Good point. Thank you for the $20. And then Becca, thank you so much for the $10 as well, who says separation of God and state. Absolutely. And then Dolores, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Thank you, Dolores. Dolores with the $25. Please show Dolores some love. That is Dolores says, hey, Dean, thanks for putting down these racist jerks. They make me want to vomit. Listening at work in the hospital, you and Parker make my night go faster. Dude, I got to say, these streams definitely do outpass the time. I listen to Parker stream a lot when I'm doing chores or driving, and they definitely outpass the time. Someone else here, Jessica, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, saying thank you for being the quote-unquote monster we need. Fuck John, Stephen, this guest from Jess and Jim. Shout out to you guys. And then Sammy, thank you for the $10. And then Lupin, thank you so much for the $15, who says, I love Christians who use quote-unquote religion as their crutch when religion and state should be separate. Plus, Christianity is not the only religion. Absolutely. And then Zidane, thank you for the $1. Braden with a 1. Vintage with a 5. Tess with a 5, saying Jesus is a liberal. Absolutely. Then Shauna, thank you for the $10 as well. Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
No, I don't, but I just want to say I love you guys so much. Keep up the good work, and you guys are awesome.
Thank you, Brody. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Brody.
you. While you get someone up, can I thank a few people real quick?
Yeah.
DOP, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you so much for the W Leech in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Sharon with the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Sharon, thank you. I really, really, really appreciate that. And then Kathy, thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Kathy. Here's some W's for all the gifters in the comment section. Thank you.
What's up, Katrina? Do you support Trump?
I did.
You don't anymore?
At one point. No.
Base, we love you. What's up, Chefy Guy? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 20.
All right. Why do you support the worst president of your life, and why do you pertain to what is now a minority of 37% of Americans that still support Trump?
I just wanted to say Cookie King mogs you.
Very nice. Well, I mean, I got to say, he might now. He might now. But why do you... Oh, and he left. All right. Chevy Guy ran away, didn't want to debate. Dude, Cookie King's been putting the work in, man. Cookie King's mogging Clav now. Don't ask me how I know those people. They just pop up on my For You page every so often. Weird guys, but I will say. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 22.
All right, and why the hell do you support the worst president of your life?
Well, I gotta tell you something, man. I just moved to the New York State, right? And this new man, Zohran Mamdani, man, I don't like his views, man. I gotta tell you that much.
Yeah, which one? Like affordability, free buses, lower rents, building more houses, right? Caring about the people.
Now, here's the thing. He is promising way too much, and the way this government shutdown bullshit is, it's not gonna work out well for him.
I'm so sorry. Things seem to be working out well for the man, the myth, the legend, Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah, you think he's gonna suck the money out of these rich people, move them to Florida? Where's that money gonna go to him? These free bus fares.
I have a question. Could you have any data that indicates that people are going to move out of the area, given that Zohran is implementing a greater level of taxation on rich individuals? Because I would argue that New York has a higher tax rate, and people, even given the higher tax rate, still choose to live there.
I kicked him because I think he's a troll. Hey, Samantha, do you support Trump?
Hi, I have a quick proposition for you. Do you need anyone who is super educated on Christian nationalism and how it is un-American?
At time, sure, absolutely. Is that you?
Oh, yes. I was spamming your chat being like, please let me talk to this guest, the guy who's just so obnoxious and screaming at you about, Jesus.
Well, thank you so much for letting me know, Samantha. I'll make sure that I don't forget. So if you happen to be in here when we have another crazy guest up, I can look for you. But right now we are just looking for some Trump supporters. And Samantha, I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Let's go to get that next guest up here. What's up? Do you support Trump, the big Donald?
No, I don't. I was just wondering, what do you think about Islam?
What do I think about Islam? I mean, same thing that I think about Christianity and Judaism. Generally, I mean, I think that religion can be used as a symbol of peace and love and make people happy and bring communities together. But a lot of people kind of distort that view and use their religion as a weapon of peace and hate to hurt others and oppress minorities, So I think that it'd be the same as the other two Abrahamic religions. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. Go ahead and hop inside of that queue. If you happen to be MAGA, we'll get you connected. We got Ryan87 connecting to the stream right now. And Ryan's not connecting. Okay, back to Chevy Guy. This guy said that he was a Trump supporter and left after he said Cookie King mogs me. Welcome back.
I was just coming back to clarify. I'm not a Trump supporter.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, right now we have over 16,000 people in the stream. And for whatever reason, we cannot find a single person that supports Trump.
What kind of teeth you got?
Yo, hello, welcome. Do you support Trump, Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that was a fetus. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got T-Alt connecting. Hello, do you support Trump?
What's up? Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you MAGA?
Yeah.
Ew, why?
Well, I don't know. Like, I've got a question for you.
Wait, you don't know why you're MAGA?
You have no clue?
I just got a question, man.
What's your question?
You must be trolling.
You think Noble Six survived?
Oh, it's you again.
Yeah, it's me. How do you forget about me? It's been a day.
No, I don't forget about you. You're Mr. Halo Man, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Halo Man's back. He just comes up. He hops in the queue every so often. He'll just come up here and talk about Halo.
I don't know how you remember everyone. My memory is so cooked, like actually cooked.
I've a pretty solid one. I have a pretty solid memory. It's a visual and audio thing. What's up? Do you support Trump?
The elevation, man.
Yeah, the elevation
Hello,
thing
can you hear me?
definitely dampens the memory. What's up, Owen? Are you MAGA?
I am.
Okay, Owen. Are you driving at the moment?
I'm not.
All right. So why do you support the worst president of your life?
I'd first like to start by just clarifying that I try to keep myself out of this stuff for the most part. Like, don't get into it too much. I consider myself a Trump supporter just because Republican views are mainly what I grew up on for the most part. I like hunting. I probably can't say pews, huh?
Listen, I grew up with my dad being a hunter too. I got my hunter safety license when I was 9 years old. Never went hunting myself though. Don't understand why that makes you support Trump.
Just gun rights for the most part.
You're still going to be able to have access to your gun under a Democratic administration. And under a Democratic administration, we're still going to deport people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes. So I guess what are your concerns specifically in terms of immigration and access to guns that would specifically be relevant to why you would want to vote for Donald Trump?
Well, just from what I've heard from the left, I mean, they're trying to get rid of all guns from what I've heard. But like I said, I'm not 100% educated.
No,
I'd more like to be educated.
I have a
I
have a 9mm sitting in my nightstand around 15 feet from where I'm at right now. The left definitely isn't trying to get rid of all guns. The left just wants common sense gun reform. The left wants to stop innocent children from dying in schools. The left, it wants to save these innocent, valuable lives. And seemingly, it's funny here because even the far left, even leftists, I hear from a lot of leftists, right, that are like pro-gun in the sense of being pro-liberation, in the sense of ensuring, right, that we could fight against tyranny and fascism, right, in the sense of like women protecting themselves from men, so on and so forth. It's actually not like an atypical view, right? And the overwhelming consensus, once again, is just common sense gun reform to stop innocent children from dying and to stop the loss of life.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm wondering what those policies that they would take to do that would. Because, I mean, I walked into a gun store when I turned 18 and bought myself a rifle to go hunting. And I actually really appreciated that right to go in there and do that, I'm just wondering what they would put in place that would turn that around.
Well, I'm just confused on why this makes you support Trump. Donald Trump is a threat to the Second Amendment.
How is that? Could you tell me?
Yeah, he directed his Justice Department to try to find a way to ban any and all gun ownership for trans Americans, blatantly calling for an infringement of the Second Amendment. That was such a threat to 2A, right, that even the far-right NRA spoke out against Donald Trump for that bullshit. All right? So it's funny, right, because the man that you're telling us you support as president because you're pro-gun, right, is the one trying to take them away.
I understand. That makes sense. I hadn't seen that about the trans rights taking away those guns, but that makes sense. I'm also Trump supporting just because immigration and all that. I think deportation.
Chat. 1 second. What's the glitch?
My bad.
Does anyone know what the glitch is?
It's not lagging for me at all.
Take them away. I understand. That makes sense.
I think that it's just people spamming it. I don't know. But sometimes there are glitches where like it literally glitches for other people, but it's fine for us though.
Well, I mean,
there's no lag on my end.
I'm watching off my phone where I don't have I'm not actively connected.
I can see it just fine on my side.
Yeah. Okay, so Owen, I mean, do you have any compelling reasons why you think Trump's a good president? If not, I'm going to move on.
Immigration, deportation.
Okay. Actually, I am seeing the glitch now. It's just a little bit of lag. So immigration. So what Trump immigration policy do you support?
Honestly, I'm kind of here to be educated for the most part. I'd like to hear your stance. I believe illegal immigrants shouldn't be here and should be removed for the most part.
Okay, why?
They violated their, the right that they did not have to come here.
Okay, so they shouldn't have the right to be here, so therefore they should be removed. Well, I mean, arguably, I don't think that we should do a mass deportation because it fucking hurts us and it hurts them, okay? It helps no one, all right? Right? We should never enforce policy, right, that destroys our economy and violates human rights. Can you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's what mass deportation does. It's super expensive. It's projected to cost $2 trillion over the course of the next 10 years, not to mention the $100 billion per year that we'd lose out on because that's what they pay in taxes, or the $1.1 through $1.7 trillion that they contribute to the GDP per year, or the fact that they account for 8.4 million workers in our workforce and 11 million of our consumers. So we remove them. Our producers will produce less goods since they'll have less employees to make their goods, and our producers will sell less goods because they'll have less people to buy them, right, causing massive economic destabilization destabilization, not to mention the human rights violations that come along with separating families, kidnapping naked children and throwing them in the backs of U-Haul vans, blackbagging college students and deporting them without due process to Sikot where they're tortured, right? Super ugly, super bad, hurts everyone, good for no one, all right? And if you're so hell-bent on like holding people accountable for their crimes, then you probably shouldn't support the 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist, adjudicated fraudster, adjudicated, felon, committing business fraud, violating the Constitution, not renting to black tenants, then being sued by the New York State Justice Department, like fucking 150 lawsuits, come on.
Okay, I gotcha. If not mass deportation, how do you believe in just deporting illegal immigrants that come in? Not massively, but...
For the most part, really not. I think that they should be offered amnesty. But, just, looking for reasons why you support Trump. I mean, do you have a rebuttal to, my critiques of mass deportation?
I'm honestly agreeing with you with most things. I do like you as a person.
Cool. So, do you have any other reasons why you're pro-Trump?
Charlie Kirk was a good guy. I liked him. Everything he stood for the most part.
Give examples.
Just helping out American citizens.
Okay, give me a policy that Trump influenced get passed that you think helps out the average American.
I'm not sure, man.
Okay, so I guess if you want to look for policies that benefit the average American, well, Republicans aren't doing that. They're advocating for tariffs that are increasing the cost of consumer products and making the labor market significantly worse off. So when the
aren't those tariffs supposed to just increase U.S. products? So isn't that the point of that?
Well, not only has real domestic manufacturing investment declined since Trump got in office, but it is the case that we've also seen the unemployment increase and the jobs report become worse off in terms of new jobs that are added into our economy. So it doesn't really seem like Trump's tariffs have been positively impacting jobs, especially because it's imposed, retaliatory tariffs by countries around the world. And there are a lot of industries in the United States that rely on selling their products, in the global market.
That makes sense. I got you, man. Well, thanks for having me.
Yep. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. You have a good one. You have a good one, man. Oh, man, honestly, I feel like I'm losing my voice. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm losing my voice. It's a little bit tricky today. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up in here. We got Mr. Tommy. Oh, my God. I remember Tommy. Holy shit, dude. Tommy.
What's up, guys?
Do you remember when you joined this stream 2 or 3 months ago? You tried to argue, right, that there's close to $1 trillion, I think was the number, of, I forget the term, but it's money going out of the economy by immigrants into their home country. And then from America. And then I asked you for a source for that number. And then you gave me a website that tracked global, global transfers of money from an immigrant in a new country to members of their family in their country of origin, right? And you just got absolutely embarrassed. And then even when I pulled up the website and I read you the text on the website that you cited that proved that you were wrong, you still couldn't concede and admit it. Remittance.
Yeah, it's called a remittance is what it's called.
Yeah, we were debating remittance.
Yeah, so I did have the numbers wrong, but there's still a substantially large amount of money that is sent out of this country in remittance. And so earlier I heard you say that Kamala Harris is not responsible or the guy didn't have any proof or any evidence. Oh yeah, you like that?
Well, it says Dean and Parker are responsible for Charlie Kirk's killing. Prove me wrong.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you believe that, man?
Okay, yeah, we can get into that. Absolutely. So every single day, you guys would get on here and you would do things such as label him as a Nazi and a terrorist and basically the downfall of this country. And you have very wild.
Just to be accurate, I can't think of a time where I've called Charlie Kirk a Nazi or a terrorist. Just to be accurate.
Okay, so you're saying that you never one time advocated that he advocated for white supremacy or for Nazis or for any of that? Because that's a bold-faced lie, if that's what you're saying.
I've definitely called him racist, because he is. But I don't think I've, just literally thinking about the life, I don't think I've ever, been on live and been like, Charlie Kirk's a Nazi, Charlie Kirk is a terrorist. I've definitely called him racist, though.
Yeah, you said a whole lot of things that would lead people, especially in this liberal trans movement of situations that the guy was in that actually
trans movement? What do you mean by that?
Well, the person who unalived him was in a relationship with a trans liberal.
Well, they were determined by
who obviously would have influenced
determined by investigators that this person was a nihilist, violent extremist and didn't have much of a political orientation.
Except for that he didn't like somebody because he assumed that they were racist and transphobic, right?
Well, I mean, he was both of those things.
Which are rhetorics that you guys would exactly like just now, right there. Exactly right there is exactly the thing that I'm talking about.
So you have someone with a certain ideology. Hold on.
And then you have 16,000 people
saying someone with a certain ideology. Saying someone with a certain ideology did this, therefore people of the ideology are responsible for this. So would you say that you're responsible specifically for the MAGA attacks against Trump?
I would say that you guys are specifically responsible for things that
registered
happen.
Republican that took a shot at Trump. Are you responsible for the assassination attempt against Donald Trump?
Okay, so again, you're taking things and spreading propaganda, saying that, oh, this guy was a registered Republican, just because whenever his family was Republican, so whenever he registered to vote, he registered as Republican.
Yeah, he was known by people in his class specifically to be like that one Republican kid.
Took left-leaning ideology. Otherwise, he would be.
Actually, I need to point something out here real quick. Wow, this is crazy, because what you're saying here is that me and Parker are responsible for his killing, right? Because we say things like Charlie Kirk is racist, right? And you think that us saying that Charlie Kirk is racist is what killed Charlie Kirk. Well, it's a fact. One moment. It's a fact that Charlie Kirk was racist, okay? It's a fact that Charlie Kirk said that MLK Jr. sucked. It's a fact that Charlie Kirk said the Civil Rights Act should be repealed. It is a fact that Charlie Kirk used prerogatives such as blacks, right, to talk about how bad things have gotten, right, since the enactment of the Civil Rights Act, okay? Right? So because of this, I'm still talking, Tommy, and because of this, basically you're saying that what is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death was the fact that Charlie Kirk was racist.
So again,
that's what you are saying. That is the reduction of your argument. The reduction of your argument is the responsibility for his assassination falls on his own racism. That is your argument.
No, so here's the deal, right? You're saying all of these things as if they're like this absolute fact, whenever it's not even the case. Whenever you say things like, "Oh, he says that we should repeal the African Americans' rights," and and all of these, that's not even what he said. He said that, and I quote, like literally, the things that happened because of that particular act are heinous and they're terrible for the African American community. And if you're saying you as a person can't see that, then you're absolutely ridiculous. Like, look, for instance, look at fathers in households pre-Civil Rights Act. Look at all of the things that were prosperous within the black community before everything happened. He didn't say that we should repeal the Civil Rights Act. What he's saying is that we should help them get back to their specific place in their own culture where they have things such as two-parent households, actual work ethics where instead of
what do you mean actual work ethic? Are you really trying to say that black people in America don't? He's trying to say black people in America do not have work ethic. That's actually racism. Yeah. You're engaging in it right now. What are you talking about? You think black people in America right now do not have work ethic?
Yeah, you also said we need to put black people back in their place. You said their specific place.
And he also questioned the qualifications of black pilots just because they're black. And he also advocated to get rid of the Civil Rights Act.
Let's look at the numbers. How many African Americans are on food stamps right now?
Bro, you tell me, why did you last year? Up? Why is this a relevant thing to bring up?
So hold on, because here's the deal, right? 36% of the total populace of the black community in this country are on food stamps right now. 11% of the white population is on food stamps.
That's not
6%.
true.
Look it up.
That's literally not true.
Oh, okay. So you're arguing against the point that you can literally Google right now, do some simple math, and then prove me right. So why don't you do that?
Yeah, so like the whole I'm sorry, I couldn't get here quick enough. Like, what the fuck? Like, all of it is just a absolute what the fuck.
So okay, so again, how many African Americans are in this country right now?
Yeah, you can talk about the amount of black people.
How many? How many of them? How many is there? 40-something million, right?
Disproportionately.
40-something million, right? And then how many of them are on food stamps? Like 11 million, right?
Sure.
Damn, that's fucking crazy.
If you look at the actual breakdown,
country?
sure. Hold on one second. So if you look at the actual breakdown as far as who receives SNAP benefits, and this is based off of a Pew Research Center study that was completed from 2020 to 2024.
Before that, I'm gonna stop you because you're gonna lead into the there's actually this percentage of the
Tommy,
total
could you
people
let
receiving food
Tommy?
stamps. That's not what I'm saying.
Tommy,
I'm saying,
Tommy, can you let Santana finish speaking?
No, because he's gonna say something that's completely not even what,
like I was saying. The overwhelming, and you can look at the breakdown, 23.1% of SNAP recipients, they're from the age of 25 to 44, where 62.7% of those recipients are white, right? And even more so, there is 45.5% of them are women. So overwhelmingly, white women are the beneficiaries of SNAP benefits. The whole, like, you said a lot of wild shit. Like, we can continue there, but I definitely want to go back to your premise on the Civil Rights Act.
You didn't listen to what I said. So before you move on to the Civil Rights Act, let's stop right there, because I said that if you look at the number of African Americans in total that are receiving SNAP benefits, it's like 11 million, right? And then whenever we look at the total population of African Americans in this country, it's 40-something million, like 41 million, right? Now, what is the percentage of 41 million that is 11 million? What is
39.8% of SNAP recipients are black.
Hold on. That's what?
I'm sorry, 27% is black. 62.7% are white.
Jesus, would you listen to me? There is more white Caucasian people in this country. There's 100-something million.
I hear you. I hear
26
you. But
million of them.
overwhelmingly,
What percentage?
the amount. I hear what you're saying. You're trying to say the percentage of black people that are on SNAP benefits versus the percentage of white people that's on SNAP benefits.
No,
I hear
I'm saying
you.
of the total populace.
Exactly. You're trying to say as far as the amount of black people versus the amount of white people. But what I'm telling you is overwhelmingly, white people are the beneficiaries of SNAP benefits.
That's because there's more of us.
Okay.
Substantially more. And it's not just one time, two times.
But what do you,
it's like
what do you
3 or 4 times.
I'm confused why he's bringing this up. Like, did you know that Republican states are more likely to also receive SNAP benefits? So even if this is a reference that you're trying to make, what's the point?
Right.
Okay, so again, we can move on to that point after you can see that I'm correct, though. Before you just continue studying. You tried to make it out like what I thought was a lie.
Let's just clarify. Let's just clean it up. So what point are you arguing that you're correct in?
Okay, so SNAP beneficiaries. Okay, there's 11 million African Americans that receive SNAP benefits. I
did the math. So based on what Santana said, that 27% of SNAP recipients are black, and the fact that there's 42 million total SNAP recipients, that would equate to around 11 million SNAP recipients being black. So far, you're right. Go ahead.
Okay, no, hold on. Yes, there is 11 million. Okay, so and then there's like 26 million something white people that receive SNAP benefits, right? So now, of those 11 million people, right, that are African American that receive SNAP benefits, there's only a total population of the total amount of African Americans in the whole country, 41 million.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, 11 million is what percentage of 41 million?
26%.
26%.
Yeah.
Okay, which is okay. Now, 26 million is what percentage of 140 million?
26 million?
That's right. That's how many white people receive SNAP benefits. There's 140 million white people in this country. What percentage of 140 million?
Wait, is your conclusion just like black individuals are disproportionately more likely to receive SNAP benefits compared to white individuals?
Well, the argument that we started with is that they're
is that the conclusion you're trying to yield?
employed.
That's all that he's saying.
Wait.
The original argument was they're disproportionately employed, and you said that. Okay,
so let me actually just clear this up. So that's a fact that black individuals are disproportionately more likely to receive SNAP benefits compared to white individuals. Right, everybody accepts that, right? That's a fact, right? And the reason why that's a fact is because the discrepancies in the average socioeconomic standard, like the average white American compared to that of the average black American, onset by systemic racism, slavery and its aftermath, a lack of generational wealth because of slavery and its aftermath, alongside other factors, right, such as the fact that the average black student in the American education system is significantly underfunded compared to the average white student, right? The over-policing of predominantly black neighborhoods, so on and so forth, plus the fact that 86% of the exonerations inside of the American criminal justice system are of black individuals when they only account for 14% of the population, right? And then stigmas and stereotypes surrounding black individuals in their positions of leadership and job hiring, them being less likely to get a job compared to a white individual, then like Republicans launching an attack on attempted legislation to prevent that, like DEI, so on and so forth, right? That is what entails that conclusion. It's not because like black individuals are less able. It's not because black individuals, right, are less competent. It's not because black individuals, right, have a lower level of work ethic. It's because there's more barriers to higher levels of income. Rather, they're historical. They still exist today, or so on and so forth. Right? Like I'm just confused on what your argument is.
Yeah, again, you completely missed it. The argument was I said, and I quote, that they're more likely to be unemployed, and you said, what is your evidence to back that up? I said, well, let's start with.
Wait, are black individuals more likely to be unemployed? The unemployment rate. No. 1 second. The unemployment rate for black Americans, right, is a little bit higher than the unemployment rate for white Americans. Yeah.
To be specific, the black unemployment rate was actually hit a all-time low twice under Joe Biden. Yeah. But since Donald Trump has gotten back in office, it's skyrocketed. And specifically, black women have been the group that's been mostly targeted. I mean, under the Biden-Harris administration, black people grew not only their overall household income, but they also grew in entrepreneurship. Like literally, Donald Trump has everything that he's instituted has disproportionately affected black people in a negative way. Like Republicans disproportionately impact black people in negative ways. Yeah. It's not. You don't know what DEI is.
So just because we did away with diversity inclusion, right?
Here's a question that I always like to ask, Tommy. And I want to ask this question.
Hold on, let me say what I'm saying. Like, why do y'all keep interrupting me? Like, I was quiet and I let him finish. Just because Trump did away with DEI, that's why we're seeing those numbers of spike of unemployment.
Name one law that was passed for DEI.
Just because, I mean,
name one law that was passed for DEI.
It's more like the standard.
Name one law that was passed for DEI.
Are you going to continue to say that or what?
Sure. Can you name one law? Or if you can't, just say you can't.
No, I don't know it off the top of my head.
Because there's none. So Trump didn't do away with laws for DEI. Like he didn't do away with the DEI.
But what he did was he set a tone, saying that they're not going to chase down for you for not hiring somebody that doesn't deserve to be in the spot, right? So It is what it is.
You don't know what DEI is.
Really?
No, you don't.
Are you aware that I own a business?
Sure. And that, you still don't know what DEI is.
Something percent of my business.
You're a dumbass business owner. That's what you are.
Yeah. What's DEIA?
Tommy, you have 6 bankruptcies like Trump?
No, I don't. I have no bankruptcies. 0.
And I'm so sorry.
Do you know any? Yeah, wait, a question I want to ask him is: he's a quote unquote good business person. Do you know any good business people that have 6 bankruptcies outside of Trump?
Okay, so let's dig into the bankruptcies. Do you know what form of bankruptcy?
No, answer my question.
You're this excellent business person. What kind of bankruptcy did Trump file?
Dude, I'm asking you a question.
What kind? Oh, answer the question. If you don't know, just say you don't know.
As soon as possible, I'll answer your question.
If you don't know, just say you don't know. I know several businessmen, to answer your question. I know several business owners that have filed bankruptcy and dissolved LLCs and started new LLCs. Wesley Young, there. Felix Salinas, Eric Quick. I know several people that have dissolved LLCs and started new ones.
I
know people. I mean, I don't know how many times they've done it. Again, now answer my question. Now answer my question. Now answer my question. What chapter of bankruptcy did Trump file?
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11. Now, what's the difference between a Chapter 11 bankruptcy and a Chapter 7?
Chapter 11 is actual redistribution of debt, and so versus the actual Chapter 7 filing, which is personal.
Okay, now
basically you're trying to say that he tried to.
Chapter 11 is what they refer to it as a restructure, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, so now-
that still doesn't negate the fact that he did it six times with businesses. Like that's a stupid premise. Keep
Like,
going,
I'm
but
just
it's a
asking
stupid
for a
premise.
single good business person with 6 bankruptcies, and it seems like
That's
as a
still a
business
stupid
owner,
premise.
you don't know. And I've been asking this question for years, and I've never had a response.
Right.
Okay, so now let's.
I don't want to gang up on you. I don't want to do
Casino,
the
right?
3v1 thing, but maybe after you're done talking about the bankruptcies, we could go back to your claim about the unemployment
I would
rate
love
being
to finish
higher
that point.
for Black Americans than white Americans because they have a worse work ethic. I could disprove that in around 4 sentences. But I don't want to gang up on you. So
I mean, I'm sure you got plenty of more propaganda than you can dispute, right? I mean, I gave you facts, and then you told me that my facts were a lie. You brought this guy Santana on here to dispute my facts, and then you were like, "Oh wait,
Yeah,
no, you're right."
your
Oh,
facts
and
are
then you went through
dog
an
shit
entire rabbit
because
hole
it
about-
makes no. You're still not engaging with the premise as far as who overwhelmingly benefits from SNAP benefits. You can sit here and say, "Oh, that's because there's more white people." Sure, that's fine. When you talk about the actual number of white people that receive SNAP benefits versus the actual number of black people that receive SNAP benefits, that's what we're talking about. Yes, I hear you. The actual proportion of black people versus the proportion of white people, sure, that's fine. That doesn't make a difference when you talk about the amount of white people that actually receive SNAP benefits. You can keep trying. It doesn't change it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, you got 2 jars, right? And in one jar there's 50 apples, and then in the other jar there's 100 apples, right? And then in the 50 apple side, 90 of, or not 9, let's say 40 of the 50 apples in one of them are bad apples, and then the other side you got 5 of the bad apples. You got them both from a different supplier. Would you say that the supplier that you got a terrible return on?
You're muffling your
is
mic.
More likely to get a terrible return, or would you say maybe the one that you got a
You're
good
muffling your mic,
return
Tommy.
give you the better return?
Bro, we
You
have
guys-
no
He's
clue
not
what you're
paying
saying,
attention.
bro.
He's just eating his mic.
I would try to explain that you're
This is
right.
embarrassing.
The
You're
yap
not
is
even right.
wild.
What's up?
He's just still
We
going.
heard nothing that you said.
Yeah. How about this, Tommy? I have an idea.
Because you have no intelligence.
What's
We
that?
heard nothing that you said, slap nuts.
Bro, you just like literally dived into the water. We couldn't hear your phone. Can you please just repeat what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you have 2 jars, okay? In one jar you have 50 grapes. In the other jar you have 100 grapes, okay? You got them both from different suppliers, okay? In the jar that you have 50 in, 40 of them were bad apple or bad grapes. They weren't any good. You couldn't use them. In the other jar that you had 100 in, right, there was only like maybe 15 bad grapes, okay? So then which would you consider is the better supplier? Are you going to assume based off your delivery that the one that you got a terrible return on is going to more than likely continue to produce this terrible return? Or would you say that, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and continue to use them?
What fucking relevance does this shit have? What?
Just answer the question. You guys
Why
use all
would-
these crazy
of course
hypotheticals.
of course
You guys always use
wait,
crazy
wait.
hypotheticals. Just answer the question.
Of course, you'd want a higher percentage if you're farming for grapes, a higher percentage of those grapes to be grapes that you can sell in the market. What relevance does this have to do at all with the stream? With the
So
conversation?
then now we can say that we can literally take that exact same jar and put the people that were receiving SNAP benefits inside of them and say that as a percentage whole, we know for a fact a greater majority of the chance if a person is born African American, they are a much greater chance to need some form of food stamps or government assistance.
Okay. So the conclusion.
What are you
once again-
extrapolating from that?
Wait. Yeah. Once again, let me
You say
just. Let me just.
this-
Could I?
am
Could
I
I,
right
could
or
I,
wrong?
could I hop in here?
That's-
Tommy, so your conclusion is that black individuals are more likely compared to white individuals to receive food stamp benefits in America. Right? I've already affirmed that that is a fact, and I've already went over the reasons why. The reasons
Because-
why.
okay, so now-
Tommy,
Why is that?
Tommy, if you were listening to me 10 minutes ago, you would have heard me tell you.
Now, you went on to a bunch of excuses as to why somebody can't do something. The truth is,
I went on to an explanation insofar as a difference in
the problem
socioeconomic status. Obviously, right, what would cause a black individual to be more likely to receive SNAP benefits, right, is the fact that the average black American has a lower socioeconomic standard compared to the average white American. That's not an excuse, that's a fact. Obviously, the less
Because
money
people
you
like
have,
you-
no. Obviously, no, Tommy, don't unmute yourself.
Can't
Don't
do
start
things.
talking. Obviously, the less money you have, the more likely you would be to receive social safety nets designed for low-income individuals. Fucking duh. Oh my God. Okay, right?
Yeah,
now, the next, no, Tommy.
people like
Then the next question would be, well, why do black Americans have a lower socioeconomic standard on average compared to white Americans? All right. And then that's when you're like, it's because I'm
like
racist
you.
and black people suck. And then that's when I'm like, well, no, actually, right, there's very clear reasons for this that have nothing to do with the melanin content in the skin of a black individual, and all to do with historical oppression, slavery, its aftermath, a lack of generational wealth, systemic racism today. Right? And other perpetuated issues, like the fact that there's an educational inequality where the average black student in school receives less funding than the average white student, meaning that we'd project like a lower expected income over their life. Another
what are the-
fact
what are the
would be like an
schools?
over-policing and over-arresting of like black,
What are their
of
SAT
black,
scores in
of black
years?
individuals. Sir, Tommy, if you interrupt me again, I'm going to kick you. I'm going to let you go, dude. I can't do the interruptions. They're not cool. Okay? Because what you do is you completely throw off my thought process. Okay? Right? I just want to make it clear. We're here to have, right, productive linear dialogue. All right? And, like, obviously, I'm not going to have a productive dialogue talking with a racist. All right? But could you, at the bare minimum, just allow me to finish speaking? Like, have you ever seen, like, The Wizard of Oz, right? Where they throw, like, the water on the Wicked Witch of the West and then she, like, burns up. I can't take that water. You know, when you throw like facts on a racist, they do the same thing. So I understand why you're freaking out. I'm just, you know, gonna ask you to try to keep it to yourself. Control yourself, Tommy. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I mean, just keep it to shorter points then. Instead of hitting like 25 points in your rebuttal, like rebut with one.
How are you going to tell the host how much he gets to talk? Shut the fuck up and listen.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't give you like an intro, right?
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, to the nuances of like the impact of systemic racism and how far that impact goes, right? In all the forms in which it prevails, right? I can't do that in less than like 5 words, right? With crayon on paper. Keep up, my friend, right? This isn't MAGA Facebook group where we say 5 words and say hell yeah, okay? This isn't fucking Telegram where you like repost some AI shit of Donald Trump, right, flexing his biceps saying America. Okay? Right? This is a little bit more like college level discourse. All right? We had nuance to this conversation. Can you not handle that?
I mean, when are you going to continue with your point? I'm just waiting so that I can give you the rebuttal. That's it.
Yeah.
So whenever you're
in summation,
done, let me know. Okay?
In summation, right, it's an obvious, undeniable fact that you cannot deny, right? The reason why black individuals are more likely to receive food stamps, right, is because they're more likely to have a lower socioeconomic standard on average. And obviously, the less money you have, the more likely you'd be to receive social safety nets designed for low-income individuals. Right? And the reason why black individuals have a lower socioeconomic standard on average has all to do with like historical barriers that persist today to a higher quality of education, historical barriers to do with slavery and its aftermath, a lack of generational wealth, stigmatization within the workforce, mass incarceration, over policing of black individuals, and like other facts such as the fact that black individuals, right, are overrepresented in industries vulnerable to economic shifts and automation, right? The whole idea of like last hired, first fired, and like other facts as well. But we could start there.
Yeah, so I agree that
I was gonna leave this man fetus to y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, take
Thank
care,
you for
Frank.
having me up, Dean. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Santana, as
Good
always.
to see you.
Good night, Chad.
So I do agree that African Americans receive SNAP benefits more because they are in a lower economical class. However, I don't agree that for the reasons that you listed, I believe, and this is not just my belief, but many others, that it's specifically because of people continue rhetoric such as, oh, well, the white man hates you, and you're always going to be oppressed because of the slavery that happened however many hundreds of years ago. And, all of this stuff, when it's not even true. I mean, look at Barack Obama. Look at all of these African Americans like LeBron James, Shaquille
Hey,
O'Neal.
Tommy, how long have black people been
there's so many
truly
people
listed as equals in the U.S.?
Can I finish what I'm saying real quick?
Sure. How long have black people been truly looked at as equals in the U.S.?
Can I not finish what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's not a situation in which it's because of the white man. It's because of the culture and the house language and the things that are taught to each individual within their household that is not taught within the schoolhouse. They're not.
That's fucking wrong. That's fucking
They're
wrong.
not
No,
taught
like
to
there's no point
Bro,
of me
let me
finishing
fucking
that
finish, bro.
stupid shit.
I was fucking quiet and let y'all finish. Like,
no, fuck that. Fuck that. Absolutely not.
I want to tell you how
Absolutely not.
not.
Dude,
Absolutely
I'm
not.
so sorry. All we need to prove you wrong, Tommy, is facts, right? So you said that I'm wrong, okay? I could explain to you how I'm right. Like, for instance, one of my points, right, insofar, right, is like why black individuals are like more likely to be unemployed or more likely to have a lower income on average compared to the average white American is because of like over policing and mass incarceration of black individuals. Okay, we know it's a fact that 86% of exonerations, right, in the criminal justice system are of black individuals that account for 14% of the population. And because we know that is a fact according to FBI crime rates, we therefore also know the general fact that black individuals are significantly more likely to be arrested and convicted of a crime that they didn't commit and thrown in jail, meaning that they're more likely to have crimes on their record that they didn't commit compared to white individuals. Okay, can we accept the secondary fact that when you have a criminal record, you're more likely to be denied access to a job opportunity? Yeah. And because you can't deny the fact that black individuals are more likely to have crimes on their record that they didn't commit to white individuals, that therefore black individuals are more likely to be denied job opportunity on average because of systemic racism, right? And over arrests and policing of black individuals? Yeah. Right? Do we see how like I'm actually using facts there? How I'm like connecting the dots between like various data points that you can't dispute? Like,
because none of those are real facts. You're saying that, oh, well, they're getting arrested. Yeah, they're getting arrested for committing crimes. Oh, well, you can't.
Okay, so dispute and debunk the fact that over 80% of the exonerations in the American criminal justice system are of black individuals. Let's see you debunk that. You said none of those things were real facts. Debunk that.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. I want you to debunk that because you said it's not a real fact. Let's
Okay,
see you debunk
what
it.
did you say?
That over 80%
Repeat it again.
that over 80% of the exonerations in the American criminal justice system are of black individuals. Debunk that.
I would say that's probably true.
Oh, but you just said that everything that came out of my mouth wasn't true. So which one is it?
I mean, so now that you say something that's probably true, I'm supposed to say like, oh,
that's one of the
everything
things
else
that I
you said.
already
Bro,
said that you said was
You're literally
false.
saying that racism.
Yeah,
You said that racism
Tommy,
is why black people can't get a
Tommy,
job.
do you see right how right like
You said that I'm a racist, right?
Tommy,
You said that I'm racist.
Tommy,
Yes.
do you see how like
You are absolutely racist, but
Yeah.
answer Dean's question.
Explain to me what my general manager of
Tommy,
my business.
the issue, having black people work for you doesn't make you not
I'm
racist.
Exactly.
I think that the slave owners prove that one, buddy. Right?
Exactly.
Now,
Explain to me why I'm-
right, what I would like to finish saying here without your interruption, right, is I just gave you a cogent, sensible, reasonable argument, right, to demonstrate, right, how, like, here's maybe one reason why black individuals are more likely, right, to have a lower socioeconomic standard on average compared to white individuals. I connected all the dots to the different true data points and made a cogent argument. In response, you brushed it off. You said none of those things were facts. Everything you just said was false. So I picked one of the things that I said at random, right? Over 80% of the exonerations in the criminal justice system are of black individuals who account for 14% of our population, meaning they're more likely to be arrested and convicted of a crime that they didn't commit. And then you said, oh, fuck, that's probably true. All right. So now that you've conceded that that's true, right? Can you therefore also accept that therefore black individuals are more likely to have a crime on their record that they didn't commit compared to white individuals? Yes or no?
I don't know, because if you look at all of the things, for instance, of why these individuals are exonerated from their crimes, it's probably a majority of things such as technicalities and so on and so forth. So without doing the research of each individual case,
who leads in all categories of violent crimes in the U.S. today?
Okay, here we go again. Like that's
Answer
something
the
that
question.
I would
Who leads in every category of violent crimes in the United States today?
including Schmurder.
Yes.
I
White
don't
men.
know.
White men, specifically white men.
And then also, wait, so your argument is the reason why black individuals are more likely to be exonerated for crimes isn't because they're actually innocent?
Again, you guys are just taking it down this rabbit hole to try to prove your point of what you're saying.
This isn't a rabbit hole. This is an argument.
I started from in the household of like.
Answer my question. So are you saying, right, that you personally, Tommy, are you saying that you personally believe that the reason why black individuals, right, are significantly more likely to be exonerated for crime, right, you'd argue that it's not because they were innocent? Is that what you're,
I would argue
saying?
You probably have a base of better character being developed within the household and not taught
Sorry,
to do.
Tommy, you're pivoting. I know that you're running away because I'm proving you wrong.
I'm going back to the original argument that I started.
Exactly. You're running away from what I'm arguing to you right now. I get it. I'd be scared too if I was debating.
You guys continue to make
especially when I was on the
pivots so
side of
that you
facts.
can make points.
Right? So don't pivot, Tommy. I just want to clarify: is your argument the reason why you believe black individuals are significantly more likely to be exonerated for a crime? You're saying that you believe that's the case, but that doesn't mean that they're more likely to be innocent and falsely arrested. Is that what you're saying, Tommy? You just need a yes?
Again, I'm saying that I have no knowledge on that entire like realm of whatever you're talking about. Like we started a conversation that you pivoted to that conversation.
No, this wasn't a pivot. This was an answer to your statement, your false statement, that the reason why black individuals are more likely to accept food stamps is because they have a lower work ethic on average, right? And I don't know, racists are like really dumb. White supremacy. One second. It's on my mind. It's like a mental illness. Like it truly is. Right. So we have this mentally ill white supremacist on the live Tommy with like the mentally ill white supremacist like 14-year-olds in the comment section going W Tommy, when like the conversation that's actually unfolding in front of everybody's face right now is me being like, hey, black individuals are significantly more likely to be exonerated for a crime that they're arrested for compared to white individuals. They account for 14% of the populace and 86% of exonerations. This means that black individuals are significantly more likely to have a crime on their record that they didn't commit. And because having a criminal record makes you significantly less likely to get accepted for a job opening, this would obviously conclude and point towards the fact that this would explain in part why the unemployment rate for black Americans is higher than that of white Americans, right? And then in response to this, Tommy just goes, gotta pivot, gotta dodge, gotta talk about something else. Gotta go back. Gotta move away from this. Guys, I'm fucking losing my shit debating Dean right now. Everything that Dean is saying right now is making total fucking sense. Everything that Dean is saying right now is totally provable. Everything that Dean is saying right now is 110% accurate. Everything that Dean is saying right now cannot be refuted. Gotta pivot, right? And then we still have like 14-year-olds in the comment section going, W, Tommy? Dude, you have a mental illness. That mental illness is called white supremacy.
You don't let anybody rebut.
And I just think that your racism here is deplorable, and it's time that you wake up to the fact that you're wrong.
Arguments, and then you decide that you're right. Like, no, you pivoted away originally from the argument like 6 times to get to a point that you might be on the upper hand of they get discriminated against because of their criminal record, and not all of them are convicted.
You're not engaging in the entire point that he's making. He's literally giving you the reason, the actual why behind the things. You're not engaging in the why, Tommy. That's the issue. You're not engaging in the why. You're looking at surface level information and you think that you know, but you're not looking at the why. Tommy, how long have black people truly been looked at as equals within this country?
Again, I know why. I already stated why.
Sure. Tommy, how long have black people been looked at truly as equals within this country?
It's household knowledge being taught correct morals and character
it's
within
not.
the household.
It has
That's the
nothing.
problem.
So what morals lead to cishet white men being the majority of mass unalivers in the country?
Well, whenever there's
Can you tell me
140 million less.
which moral leads to cishet white men overwhelmingly being mass unalivers in the country?
Well, again, when there's a mass majority of us, you would.
So just
expect to
because
see nothing
just
different.
because it's more white men, that means there should be more white men than mass unalive people.
I mean, the math makes
Is
sense,
it
right?
the
There's more of
Christian
us,
national
right?
values
There's
that's
more of
leading to
us,
that?
right?
Is
There's
it the
more of us,
Christian
right?
national values that's leading to mass unaliving people?
I'm not a Christian.
Yeah, sure. Can
I'm
you
not.
answer my original question? How long have black people truly been looked at as equals within this country?
Here, I'm gonna let Tommy answer this question. Then I'm gonna kick him. He's just like low IQ, right? He's not engaged in the arguments, right? And he's getting like dunked on, right? He's getting like laps
You
run
literally
around
pivot
him,
away from everything.
right? So, Tommy, I understand that I need to repeat myself to you many times because you are fucking dumb, okay? But I'll repeat myself to you for one last time here. I didn't pivot from your argument. I contested your argument. Your argument was black people more likely to accept SNAP because lazy. Okay, I was like, false. Black people more likely to accept SNAP because lower socioeconomic standard and higher unemployment rate driven by systemic racism. Argument number one to prove me right, you wrong. Over arrest rate and conviction rate of crime they did not commit. Compared and comprised with the second fact that if crime on your record, then less likely to get job. Right? I got to like literally explain it to Tommy like he's like 5 years old. All right, Tommy? Like dude,
You're saying that
why am I having to
successful
explain to you what a counter argument is? Like you're 5 years old. You're so stupid, right? That not only are you a belligerent racist, but you're so stupid you don't even understand what a counter argument is. You think a counter argument is a pivot.
Pivot.
God, like
he doesn't fucking understand.
I honestly, it can't get worse than this, guys. Like, how could
about-
you be
we're
so
talking about
stupid to the
fucking
extent
employment. You're
of
talking
thinking
about
that a
people going to
counter
prison,
argument
like,
is a
you
pivot?
obviously pivoted.
You don't understand the premise of him giving you information to actually support his stance. You don't
His stance is
understand that.
completely ridiculous.
It's
You
no,
don't-
and
you
you
know,
know
you're
what?
not
Listen, I'm going to give you the
acknowledging my
answer.
point,
I'm
and
going to
that's
give you the
the
answer because you have not answered the question, and this is the same thing that Dean was doing. The point that
already
I'm
did.
trying
I
to
said
make.
after
It's been
segregation.
60 years that black people have truly, quote unquote, been looked at as equals in this country. Now you can give or take whatever else has been happening, but Jim Crow was overturned in 1965. I mean, Jim Crow laws overturned in 1965. Slavery started in 1619 before the inception of this country. You're talking about 60 years since there hasn't been any actual laws on the book to discriminate against black people. The point that Dean is making and the point that I'm making with this is there's been over 300 plus years of black people being oppressed and held back, and even specifically laws on the book stopping black people from being able to move forward and advance. And you can even take a look back as far as 2024.
Argument was a
He
pivot.
had no idea what you were doing.
Like, dude,
he couldn't
like,
engage
literally,
in
like
it.
literally lost, dude. And it's like the thing is, right? Is like I'm not like super mad, right? I've I was giving him a counter argument against his position, right? And like I'm trying to like put myself in the shoes of like thinking that somebody's pivoting when they're debunking your argument, when they're giving like a counter argument to the bullshit that you're saying, right? And it's like imagine or critically think whatsoever, right? Because he could. Lost.
Let me give you a counter argument. Let me give you a different position.
like considerably different than the question.
He doesn't get supporting
Right,
evidence.
Right. That's like he thought in his head that was like considerably detached from the proposition
Yeah.
that like black individuals, right, are like more likely to be unemployed because they're more lazy. No, it's a direct refutation, right? like he's filling in the answer to that question by saying that they're more lazy, which like obviously there's no like evidence to justify that, right? When I say like I'm answering this question like with one aspect, that being that they're more likely to have a crime that they didn't commit on their record, right? There's so much evidence for that position. Like, dude, I don't know. It's just
I think-
crazy. Like how like truly like stupid some people are. Like truly stupid.
I think Parker hit it before he left, and like you gave him too much information. He couldn't consume all of it. Like if you would have figured out how you could have said everything in 5 words, then maybe he could have engaged in it, but that was too much. Anyway, thank you for having me. There's a bunch of people I want to say thank you to. I'll send you direct messages to say thank you. I was literally folding clothes as I was listening.
Oh, well, Santana, I really appreciate you for coming up, man. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man. All right, we're going to go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. Luke. Hey, guys, look at this. See this guy? This guy, Luke? I sent him an invitation to join the stream. Right now, Luke has a button on his phone screen that says accept invitation to join. What do you think the odds are that he accepts it? What do you guys think the odds are? I would argue considerably low. Considerably low. 0. It's looking like it. Oh, he denied it. Wait, I'm actually going to show you guys again. See that little button right there that kind of looks like 2 people? That's the button I pressed to invite somebody. Let's go and invite him again. Invitation sent. Let's see if he accepts it. Come on, Luke. Come on, buddy. Come on, Luke. Come on, my friend. Get up here. Oh, he denied it again. Come on. Okay, Luke. We're going to send that invitation one more time. Let's see if he joins it. This is the last time right now. No, this is not going to do it. Motherfucker. I get it, Luke. I get it. I'd be scared of me too, dude. Fuck. I mean, I can't really imagine like many things that like you're not scared of. Right? When you just like live life, right, with like such a low level of intelligence, I bet like everything scares you. Like everything probably scares you. Oh, Luke! Hello, Luke! Luke! I gotta ask you, how old are you? First question. Very obvious first question. Okay? We need to ensure here that you're not a child. You muted yourself. I sent you an invite to unmute yourself.
Hold up.
Hi, Luke. How old are you?
18.
Okay, perfect. I wasn't bullying a kid. Awesome. So you're 18 years old. And you thought Tommy was cooking?
What's that?
And you thought Tommy was cooking?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, okay. All right. So what do you think his response was to my counter argument there that no, black individuals are not more likely to be unemployed because they're more lazy, but rather, right, many systemic limiters, with an example being they're more likely to have a crime on their record that they didn't commit, and with a crime on your record, you're less likely to get accepted for a job opportunity. No idea, Luke?
What's that?
Oh, don't worry.
My internet was.
Don't worry. I'll repeat myself, Luke. So what was his counter argument there, right, to my position that no, black individuals are not more likely to be unemployed because they're more likely to be lazy, but rather more likely to be unemployed for many systemic limiters, with one of those limiters being that they're more likely to have a crime on their record that they didn't commit, and you're less likely to get a job if you have a criminal record.
Trump being a threat to America.
What's that, Luke?
What does this have to do with Trump being a threat to America?
What did Tommy's racism have to do with why I think Donald Trump is a threat to America? Nothing. Right? But you were spamming W Tommy in the chat.
Because Tommy was getting 3v1 by 3 of you guys.
Oh, so you're saying that he was winning not because he had a good argument, but rather because he was talking to 3 people.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you.
Wait. So is that the position?
Let's talk about something that actually matters.
I could agree that Tommy doesn't actually matter.
Let's talk about immigration and how Trump's a better president than Kamala Harris.
Okay, Luke. Okay. Name one Trump immigration policy that you like.
Dude, if my internet wants to fly with me.
Yeah, you got MAGA Mobile, man. Terrible internet. So what's one Trump policy that you like? One Trump immigration policy that you like?
One immigration policy?
Yeah, because you said you wanted to talk about immigration.
Well, what he did was he enforced border policies. It's not really a policy; it's what he enforced.
Well, I mean, you just said he enforced
Right.
policy, so it is a policy.
Well, it's called border enforcement reduction.
Border enforcement. Okay. So,
Right.
So what did he do to increase border enforcement?
Well, he reduced unauthorized immigration.
He reduced unauthorized. Well, I'm asking you what he did to reduce undocumented entry. It would help if you stopped reading off Google. Because Google is not going to be able to contextualize the questions that I'm asking you unless you.
I'm not reading off Google.
You are, Luke. I mean, we heard the typing. It's fine though. I mean, use. This is an open book test. Use any means to your disposal. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm just going to simply say it's going to be a little bit hard to use Google because Google's not going to be able to contextualize like the nature of every single question that I ask. Right? And the question was, what is your favorite Trump immigration policy? In response, you said, well, he didn't pass any new policy, just enforce a policy that already exists. So what is a policy that has already exists that he's enforcing today that makes you a fan of him? Or, right, how has he effectively reduced undocumented entry into this country? No idea?
Well, border like putting more. He's put more border control officers. He's the actual border itself, like the walls.
He hasn't built any new wall in the last 10 months. It's bullshit.
At the border for a while.
Okay, all right. Some more troops on the border.
Well, he did when he got in office.
No, he didn't. Are you talking about in his first
Do you
term?
think that Kamala Harris would have done a better job?
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
How?
How? Yeah, because she wouldn't have been a fascist, infringed on our constitution, broken the law, denied immigrants their constitutional rights, and deported in CICAD in El Salvador.
Well, he didn't break the Fifth Amendment though. If that's what you're saying.
So according to SCOTUS and according to multiple federal judges, he did. We had SCOTUS rule in late April that he was trying to deport a group of Venezuelan immigrants in northern Texas
there's a law
without
that
due
says
process
that it
under the.
doesn't matter if.
What's that?
Is there not a law that says that that even if you're an immigrant, the Fifth Amendment doesn't apply to you, right?
Oh, there's not a law that says that. Wow. Learn something new every day, Luke. Dude, look at you. Look at
I had it pulled up yesterday. I'm not really.
Look at like your three
Oh, it's
fanboys.
the Immigration and Nationality Act.
Look at your three fanboys in the chat. It's cute. It's cute. So the Immigration
Well,
and
sir, I don't know it
Nationality-
on the top of my head, but I can tell
so
you
the
that
Immigration
there is.
and Nationality Act, right, can't possibly take right, the Fifth Amendment rights away from undocumented immigrants, since the Immigration and Nationality Act, right, was federal law, meaning it has to abide by the Constitution. It can't change it.
Okay. But I was saying that
Like, can federal law change the Constitution? No, only amendments passed through Congress or reinterpretations made by SCOTUS can.
I had it pulled up yesterday. Yeah, about 100,000 immigrants came into the country a day when Biden was in office, and now that there's less than like 30 people that come in a day now.
Okay, talk about that claim as soon as you could concede the last claim.
The main law that makes it illegal to enter the U.S. without authorization was passed in 1952. Trump didn't pass a new law. He enforced existing immigration laws.
Oh, no, remember.
More stricter and added executive
So the debate
policies.
was, right, do undocumented immigrants have Fifth Amendment protections and a right to due process?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that was what it was saying.
Okay, well, so they do have a right to due process. You were arguing that they don't? Because
In a way, they do, and I think in a way they should have a
No,
they should have a due process.
It's not in a way they do, or in a way they should. It's just that they do. They have the same Fifth Amendment rights that you have because of the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th Amendment.
I think that I still think that Trump is a better president than Kamala Harris would have been, just because of the border enforcement. That's literally the only thing.
Well, I think what he's done. I think what he's done to reduce border crossings has been disincentivizing it by scaring that entry away by violating the human and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants that are already in America by playing fascists. Kenneth, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Appreciate you so much for that love, Kenneth. Kenneth with the $50 is glad to see the future is in good hands. Well, Kenneth, it is so good to see you. Thank you so much for your kindness. Show some fucking love to Kenneth down below in that chat, folks. Thank you for the $50. Huge shout out to Kenneth down below, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's get 500 Kenneth W's, as well as let's get 250 Baki W's for the $25 on Venmo. Saying Cookum, appreciate you for that love, Baki. That is B-A-K-I. And then Mackenzie, thank you for the $10. Ali with a $10 saying Dean Parker and Santana W. Ali with a $10 saying fuck Steve and fuck John. And then Katrina, thank you so much for the $40 over on Venmo. Katrina with a $40 says, for being fucking amazing, fuck these assholes. Appreciate you for that love, Katrina. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for your kind words.
Okay, I looked it up, and what you were saying is that he is breaking the Fifth Amendment, but U.S. Constitution says that the government can't deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That means the government must follow fair legal procedures before punishing, detaining, or deporting anyone. How it applies to Trump and immigration: deporting someone who has entered the U.S. illegally is not automatically unconstitutional, as long as the government gives that person due process, a hearing, chance, and it follows the Fifth Amendment. The Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, passed by Congress, legally authorized deportations after those due process steps. So Trump's immigration enforcement actions, when done, though lawfully proceeds, don't violate the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick him. Nora, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, saying that you were so inspiring. Thank you, Nora. Thank you. I appreciate you for the love. I hope that you're still in here. Thank you so much, Nora. And then Elizabeth and Tyler, appreciate you guys for the 5. Thank you guys so much for the love. And then over on PayPal, holy shit, Natasha, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal, who says Sociology 101. Thank you so much for the love. And then Darius with a $5 says, get woke, dude. We're getting so woke up in here. Appreciate you so much for that love. And then Harold, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. Thank you, Harold. Harold says, I'm loving Santana. Hit him with 20 for me. Bro, I fucking got you. I'll send that over to Santana. Thank you for the $20. And then Harold with another $50. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love, Harold. Harold says, should we pivot to ending the shutdown given the huge margins last night? I see a path to an even better healthcare system and minimum basic income. I don't know. I'd still say they should stand 10 toes down. We do not want those ACA credits repealed until like we have a Democrat supermajority in both chambers of Congress and a Democratic president to pass something better, if there is something better. Mazel, thank you so much for the $5, and Cooper with a 10, and then Gian with a 1, and holy shit, dude, Mr. fucking Christopher, the GOAT. I really appreciate you so much for the $200 donation on PayPal. Holy shit, Christopher. What the fuck? Let's get 2,000 Christopher W's. Thank you. Christopher says, update immigration paths. The paths that exist exploit all the U.S. citizens and businesses and the immigrants, all but the government. We need more than just updating processing speed or mass amnesty. We need more available paths to be here legally. Dude, Christopher, it is so good to hear from you again. And you are absolutely spot fucking on. As always, thank you so much for the love, my man. As well as Nathan, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. And Maximilian, thank you so much for the $40 on PayPal. Thank you, man. Who says, hey, Dean, thank you for being you, brother. I think during a time when people are scared, people are hurt, and people need reassurance, as well as a good laugh sometimes, you are here doing brilliant things, educating the people. Let's stand together and get this orange motherfucker out. Dude, thank you for your inspiring words. You were spot fucking on. And then David, thank you so much for the 10. And Brittany, thank you for the 10. You guys are awesome. Then Ariel, thank you for the $10, who says, thank you for giving me hope. Thank you so much for the love. And I'm happy that the streams give you some hope. And then Natissa, thank you for the $2 over on PayPal. All right, folks. Listen, for the 11,000 people hanging out with us on TikTok, 4.4 thousand people hanging out with us over on YouTube, unfortunately, the time has come for me to end the stream. We have been on for a little bit over 4 hours at this point, and it's time to end, unfortunately. Now, if you still want to see some debates, guess what? Our buddy Parker is live on @Parker, get a job on TikTok, @Parker, get a job on YouTube. And we are now going to be ending. Go raid him. Show some love to Mr. Parker. He's a great debater. He's going to be at it for like another 4 hours or so. Peace and love, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.